shortstop. Patrick White, Haverford School, catcher outfielder. Jalen Tidwell, Archbishop Carroll, shortstop. Drew Mulligan, Archbishop Carroll, catcher outfielder. Jake Verbitsky, Episcopal, catcher first base. Will Cohen, Episcopal, infielder. In attendance tonight from Cardinal O'Hara, we have Brendan Till and Thomas Flynn for their graduation tonight. And also arriving at somewhat would be Michael Coleman of Bonner Prendy and Michael Klawonsky of Bonner Prendy. Your All-Stars in the Gal Val team. Your umpires tonight will be Stu Soley, David Splain, Joseph Cassidy, and Kevin Carr. At this time, we would like to ask the Barrett family to go to the field. They're the relatives of Joe Barrett, whose game we play in his honor every year. Welcome to the Barrett family. Okay. At this time, it's my pleasure to introduce a legendary figure in Delaware Valley, John Mooney, longtime coach, will present the Coach of the Year.
Good evening. I want to thank the Joe Barrett Committee for their kindness to me over the years. I thank the coaches, the players, and the umpires for their generosity in coming and participating in this game. I want to give my congratulations to all the coaches for all the work that they do, but especially I'd like to introduce at this time the person who is the Coach of the Year is Brian Miller from Haverford.
Next, it gives me pleasure to introduce Eric Van Wyk. He will be giving out the Kiki Doherty Pitcher of the Year Award.
Thank you. The Kiki Doherty Jumbo Faulkner Award is presented annually at the Joseph J. Barrett All-Star Game to an outstanding high school senior in the area. The recipient is chosen because he embodies the qualities Kiki and Jumbo personify: character, athletic achievement, sportsmanship, and coachability. This year, we have two recipients winning the award. Both of these players led their teams to the playoffs due to their leadership and impact on the mound. Congratulations to the 2025 recipients from Haverford, Gavin McClafferty, and from Radnor, Ryan McWilliams.
At this time, we'd like to announce the 2025 Joseph J. Barrett Senior Memorial Scholarship Honors. From Chichester High School, Julian Sparks. And from Sun Valley High School, Jackson Messick. Now to throw out the first pitch tonight will be Kevin Barrett, the son of Joe Barrett.
Come on, Doc. Attaboy.
Jordan singing the national anthem.
They follow each other. Josh Gosselin is.
That's not the national anthem. Let's play ball.
Good evening and welcome to Marple Newtown for the 39th annual Joseph J. Barrett All-Star Game. A beautiful night for baseball. David Chapansky alongside Brendan Ricciardi here. It is unfortunate that all Delco teams have been eliminated from the playoffs. We still get to come together on this special Tuesday evening and celebrate the All-Stars, the seniors, and it's going to be a great night for baseball. Glad you could join us. Brendan, what are you expecting for this matchup today? Going to be a lot of fun.
Well, like you said, it definitely is a bummer that, we don't have many Delco teams left. But with that being said, that means that there's nobody that's resting. Last year we had some guys that couldn't play because their teams are still going. So if there's any silver lining to this, it's that anybody who's here should be ready to go. And, for all these guys, this is going to be the last time that they put on their high school's uniform.
Absolutely, and we expect to have a good matchup here today between Team Central League and Team Del Val. Should be a lot of fun. Central League, this was listed here as the home team, but we've heard that they are the away team as the Central League.
Del Val.
And Del Val will be the home
Well,
team.
it's funny because they're called the Del Val. Maybe it started that way, but it also has the Interact, the Catholic League, and Sun Valley as well. I think we should just call them like the others or something. Find a way to like
the independents.
Yeah, I like the independents. Like the challengers, maybe.
Sure.
I like the challengers.
Okay.
Maybe if we get Delco Christian in here sometime, it could be the challengers too. But yeah, I'm excited. I was here for this game last year. Was the first time I was ever a part of it. Shout out to Justin Lamborn and Eric Van Wyck for they took control of this game. Kind of brought it to new life last year, bringing it to Marple. Under the lights, beautiful facility. It's a packed house tonight.
Absolutely. And just to give a little bit of a background on Joseph J. Barrett, a lifelong player, coach, and umpire across Delco and Philadelphia before he passed in 1985. The game is played as a tribute to him every year, and a scholarship is awarded to a player on each roster. And over $150,000 has been given since the tradition began in 1985. Now, this is the 39th season. I've done my best to go back and count the matchups. Seems like the Central League has a 23-14 advantage over Del Val. I could be off by a game, but that's where we are as of right now, 23-14, around there. So looking forward to this matchup today. And Brendan, looks like we're ready to go. Chase Ecker is going to be the starting pitcher for the Del Val team again. the home team, and of course, Ecker, a member of Malvern Prep.
Yeah, no, and Ecker's a guy that, Malvern Prep being right outside Delco means that we cover them, but not as much as some of the other
Sure.
teams like Episcopal and the Haverford School. Chase Ecker was the Interac MVP this year for Malvern. A center fielder by trade. He'll be going to William & Mary to be a center fielder, but he took over as the ace of a team that really needed one this year. He pitched the state championship game, win over the win over the Episcopal this year, and really just showed that he's a very well-rounded player. But his future is going to be in the outfield. You should wait till you see this kid run.
He's also the leadoff hitter for Del Val. 1 ball and no strikes to count to Ryan Cassidy, and he'll take a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike to count to Cassidy from Haverford High School, an outfielder. Here's the lineup for the Central League: Ryan Cassidy, Bobby Doherty, Ben Milligan, Brady Thompson, John Teenan, Joe Krasowski, Evan Hartman, Joe Anzalone, and Nate O'Donnell. 1 ball and 1 strike to count to Cassidy, and the pitch from Ecker is hit on the ground over to second, and this one's going to get through into right field for a base hit. White is there to pick it up for Team Central League, but it's a leadoff single for Ryan Cassidy.
It's pretty much what we've seen all year from him, especially as the leadoff hitter for the Central League champion Haverford Fords. First team All-Delco outfielder for us, absolutely. I don't even have all the stats in, but I'd be surprised if we found 5 or 6 over him. And I'll tell you what, it's kind of confusing with Pencrest and Haverford both wearing white with red pinstripes.
Yeah, and also, too, it is cool that every team wears their uniform, and this one is again through on the right side for a base hit. Cassidy is thinking about going to third. He's going to put the brakes on at second, and it's back-to-back singles for Team Central League. Cassidy moves up to second. Bobby Doherty, the not Marple Newtown, the Ridley player, is going to get a base hit.
Doherty will be staying in Delco for his college career. He'll be heading over to Widener.
And that's going to bring up Ben Milligan up to the plate. Milligan from Strathaven with 2 on and nobody out. 0-0 ball game here in the Joseph J. Barrett All-Star game. And this is a fastball that runs high from Ecker. 1 ball, no strikes to count. And as per normal in an All-Star game, we're going to see a lot of different players. Both head coaches are going to swap out. And you may even see a new pitcher every inning, which is kind of All-Star tradition, if you will. 1 ball, no strikes to count. This one is also inside, and it's 2-0 to Milligan. In terms of last year, this game was won by the Central League, 8-5 in 2024. Del Val last won in 2023, 5-3. But I think kind of the nature of those scores, that this game is always competitive and close. Here's the 2-0 pitch from Ecker, and this is a swing and a miss.
I'll tell you
2-1.
Ben Milligan's got to be thrilled that Brian Feely's not his coach right now, because he would have had to bunt in this situation, but now he gets to just swing away here. And it's a Strathaven alum, I'm allowed to say that. But, he batting third, usually batting leadoff for Strathaven.
David Chapansky, Brendan Ricciardi with you. The 2-1 pitch from Ecker is a fastball that runs high, and it's 3-1. Again, runner at second is Cassidy. He singled. Doherty is over there at first. He also singled. And now Milligan in a great hitter's count. 3 balls and 1 strike to count. The head coach for the Central League is Brian Miller, who was awarded as the coach of the year. The 3-1 is a foul tip, and it's now 3-2 to Milligan. And for Del Val, it's Steve DeBarberi, the head coach of Bonner. Of course, Bonner and Radnor both playing yesterday. Unfortunately, both losses. But 2 really competitive games and really 2 historical seasons for both of those franchises. 3 balls and 2 strikes to count. Runners on first and second. Cassidy with the lead at second. 3-2 is upstairs. Ball 4 on another fastball. And the first 3 hitters to face Chase Ecker have reached, as Cassidy will head down to third. Doherty will trot to second. And Milligan will take a walk, a 6-pitch walk, and head over to first.
I was told real quick to shout out Ben Thorpe for throwing 5 strong innings in the Delco League yesterday.
That's awesome.
Ben's got a nasty changeup for the reigning Delco League champion Upper Darby Blue Sox.
Congratulations to Ben. Wish he was here with us tonight, but I'm sure he's following along at home. Again, glad you could join us. David Chapansky, Brendan Ricciardi with you. Here's a breaking ball that drops in for a strike to the cleanup hitter for Team Central League. It's Brady Thompson from Garnet Valley. We are expecting the Bonner guys to get here a little late, but there are some schools, Cardinal O'Hara, I believe, also Conestoga, that either have all graduation activities. And here is the 0-1 pitch, and this one is outside. It's 1-1 to Brady Thompson. We'll also kind of give you a stat each half inning. We talked about in the beginning of over 150,000 has been given since its tradition began in 1985. Over 1,060 student athletes have played in this game, Brendan. Here is the 1-1 pitch to the lefty Thompson, and this one is hit foul towards the third base dugout. It's 1-2.
One of those most valuable players happens to be a coach of the team in the third base dugout, Steve DeBarberi, in, I think, 2006?
2006. Yeah, Steve DeBarberi knows what it's like to play in this game. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. Bases loaded. Nobody out here in the top of the first. Team Central League threatening here in the first. And here is the 1-2 pitch. And this one is outside. It's 2-2. Excuse me.
Some other notable MVPs: Phil Gosselin, former Philadelphia Philly, also the new leader of the Barrett game, Justin Lamborn. Most recently, it was Paul DeFrucio of Marple Newtown on his own field last year.
2 balls and 2 strikes to count. Ecker, who is pitching from the windup, comes set, and the 2-2 pitch is lined into right field, and this one is well foul towards the houses behind us, which is where we're set up again. We don't have a great view of the first or third base lines, great view of the plate. We're up here kind of on the hill near some of the houses behind us. That one whacked foul by Thompson. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count. Again, Ecker is the starting pitcher for Team Del Val, the righty from Malvern Prep. Bases loaded. Cassidy at third, Doherty at second, Milligan at first. And here is the 2-2 pitch from Ecker, and this one is popped up over to third base. Tidwell is over, and the infield fly has been called, and Tidwell will put it away for the out. So good job there by Chase Ecker to get the first out without allowing a run. And there's one away for John Tien coming up, Brendan.
Tien will be heading to Lebanon Valley College to continue his career, Division III school. I mean, the top, what do we got, 4 or 5 hitters so far, all going to college. Ryan Cassidy's going to play at Thomas Jefferson. I don't think I mentioned Ben Milligan, Dickinson, Brady Thompson at Washington College.
John Tien.
Tien.
I'm sorry, Tien?
Tien.
Tien will take a strike.
Delco Base One Out podcast alum. That was last year.
No balls and 1 strike to count. Tien from Ridley as well. Saw his teammate, Bobby Doherty, who singled. He's over there at second base. Again, Team Central League threatening here in the top of the first at Marple Newtown in the 39th edition of the Joseph J. Barrett All-Star game. The 0-1 is chopped on the ground over to short. Friscaldo has it. Throws a second for 1. Back to first is also in time. And Team Del Val showing a little bit of defense in the top of the first. Coach DeBarberi is happy with that. And so is Chase Ecker, who does allow the first 3 batters to reach in the first, but after a pop-up to third and a double play, 6-4-3 double play, Ecker will get out of the inning. We played a half of an inning here in the Barrett All-Star game. No runs for the Central League. We're headed to the bottom of the first. Well, Del Val will come up. We'll see Chase Ecker, Will Cohen, and Zach Friscaldo after this. Welcome back to the Joseph J. Barrett All-Star game here at the beautiful facility here at Marple Newtown High School. David Chapansky alongside Brendan Ricciardi. Central did threaten heavily there in the top of the first inning. They had the bases loaded, but a double play and a pop-out was able to get Chase Ecker out of the top of the first unscathed. And now we're headed to the bottom of the first. Well, Team Del Val will grab the bats for the first time today, but Chase Ecker is also going to lead it off. I know Brendan talked about his skills in center field, going to college for that. We'll get to see a little bit of it here in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, this kid can fly. If he puts one in the gap, he's ending up on 3. He covers a ton of ground. I wonder if we'll also get to see him in the outfield as well. I would assume so if he's going to stay in the lineup.
So Ecker is going to step in, and he's going to face Gavin McClafferty, who is the starting pitcher for the Central League. McClafferty, also from Haverford High School, talked about Ryan Cassidy earlier, the outfielder. Cassidy is out in center field, and his Haverford teammate is on the mound. McClafferty, the righty, will face Chase Ecker to lead things off here in the bottom of the first inning. And the first pitch from McClafferty is a little bit low. It's 1-0. Here's the lineup for Team Del Val. Chase Ecker, Will Cohen, Zach Fuscaldo, Jake Verbitsky, Jalen Tidwell, Pete Bozzoni, Pat White, Ryan Sams, and Nievon Diaz will round out the lineup for Team Del Val, coached, of course, by Steve DeBarberi. Next pitch is low. It's 2-0 to Ecker.
Looks like in the bullpen, Ryan McWilliams from Radnor will get an opportunity to pitch the second inning. I'm also seeing Sabo Graham from Sun Valley. He could be getting the second. It seems like, in my experience doing this,
Here's the 2-0, and this one is low. It's 3-0.
Most pitchers usually throw maybe 2 innings, but most of the time just 1 to get as many guys work as possible.
The defensive alignment right now for Team Central League, we'll get you that in a second. Here is a 3-0 pitch from McClafferty, and this one drops in for a strike. It's 3-1. Doherty, Cassidy, and Thompson left to right in the outfield. Tehan, Krasowski, Milligan, and Hartman left to right in the infield. And O'Donnell will do the catching for McClafferty to start. Here in the bottom of the first, base is empty. 3 balls and 1 strike the count to the leadoff hitter, Ecker. The 3-1 is low, ball 4, and Ecker is aboard with a leadoff walk, a 5-pitch walk to begin things here in the bottom of the first. So both teams able to get the leadoff hitter on here in the first inning.
And the question isn't if Chase Ecker will try and steal, it's when. He, I believe, broke the single season steal record for Malvern Prep. I think he had almost 40 in the upper 30s, according to head coach Freddie Hilliard, who is here today. I think maybe 37 or 38 for him this year. So we'll see if he shows that off here.
Here is Will Cohen, who will step into the box for Team Del Val, again, the home team. Will Cohen from Episcopal, and he'll take a strike on the inside corner. It's 0-1. Cohen listed as a utility player, but he really does it all for Episcopal. Had the opportunity to watch them this year. And I think we both agree, Brendan, bright future ahead for Episcopal. A really strong year under Coach Grandieri.
Yeah, I think the big thing for them is guys like Cohen, guys like Jake Verbitsky coming up in a bit. Like, they just hit the ball better this year. They had great.
The pitch to Cohen is hit on the ground over to short. Ecker was in motion, and this one is going to be bobbled by Kurzowski, and heading to third is Ecker, and pulling into first is going to be Cohen. Okay, Siegel is over there. I apologize.
Do they lie to you?
I think the lineup lied to me.
Maybe they'll have some guys in the lineup offensively and not defensively.
Yeah, both head coaches did tell me that it's going to be
a little fluid.
Tough to follow around. Yeah, so we'll do our best, but it is an E6 on the shortstop. Now put runners on first and third for Team Del Val, and there goes Cohen from first. The pitch is outside, and Cohen will pull up the second without a throw. 1 ball, no strikes to count to Zach Fuscaldo, who steps in to hit for Team Del Val.
He'll be heading to Franklin and Marshall in the Centennial Conference next year.
1 ball and no strikes to count to Fuscaldo, the left-handed batter, and the 1-0 is a little bit low, perhaps. It's 2-0 to Fuscaldo. So runners on second and third. Great speed over there at third in Ecker. And Team Del Val looking to strike first here in the bottom of the first. 0-0 ball game. Gavin McClafferty on the mound for Team Central League, and the 2-0 is low and outside. It's now 3-0.
You know, McClafferty came into the season as the number 2 for Haverford, and really he pitched like a number 1, especially when Jimmy Boyle wasn't able to pitch in the playoffs with that concussion. He really pitched like he, was the ace of the staff. And
the 3-0 is still on the ground hard over to second. Milligan has it. His only play is the first, and that will allow Ecker to come in and score.
They're really messing with you. That's Kunzo over in second.
They are really messing with me. But Ecker will come in and score, so it's a 1-0 lead for Team Del Val. Score the putout 4-3. So, Brendan, you said Siegel's over there at
short. Yeah, I'm seeing John Tien at third, Kunzo at second, and that's Joanne Zalone at first.
Okay, so I had Evan Hartman at first.
Yeah, so I'm guessing that the lineup is one thing, and then the defensive subs are another, because that's Doherty in left, Cassidy in center. We can't even see.
Thompson is in right, according to the lineup. And this one is a little bit.
That is human right.
That one's called a strike. It's 0-1 to Verbitsky. So Punzo is at second. And who did you say was at first again, Brendan? I know it's hard to see. Okay, Anzalone is over there at first. So we'll do our best. No balls and 1 strike to count to Jake Verbitsky with a runner at third. 1-0 lead for Team Del Val. And the pitch from McClafferty, swing and a miss. It's 0-2. Verbitsky a catcher, and he had a really nice season there in Del Val for Episcopal. Talked about Will Cohen earlier. Got to see both of them earlier this year.
We'll be heading to Lackawanna JUCO. Try and see if he can get himself a nice college offer after a year playing JUCO ball.
Those Episcopal uniforms are very nice. The 0-2 is whacked foul down the third base line.
Because they don't. That must be like a BP or spring training.
It has to be. Yeah.
They only ever wear, from what I've seen, white or blue. So maybe he just wanted to just do a little something different from Will Cohen.
I know we have the video on, but the left side of the jersey is kind of a tie-dye.
Like a digital camo,
yeah, yeah, with dark blue and then light blue. And the other side, the other half is black, and looks at the Episcopal Academy logo is, I believe, on the left side. And here is the 0-2 pitch to Verbitsky. And this one is hit in the air out to center field. Heading back is Cassidy. He has room at the track. He'll put it away for the second out. Here's Cohen. He's going to tag up, and he will easily score to make it a 2-0 lead for Team Del Val. Here in the bottom of the first, Team Central League couldn't capitalize, but Del Val does here in the bottom of the first. And Verbitsky gets an RBI on the sacrifice fly to Cassidy. 2 outs.
Now, Dave, we know that Marple, especially to left field, isn't the biggest park. It's fairly deep to right and a little bit in the gaps. How many homers do you think we're seeing today? I think we saw.
I'm going to say 2.
I think we saw 3 last year.
I'm going to say 2. It is a hot night, so we'll see if the ball flies out of here. Here is Tidwell, and he's going to foul the ball to the right side near the first base Central League dugout. 0-1 to Jalen Tidwell, who bats in the 5 spot for Team Del Val. Tidwell from Archbishop Carroll. No balls and 1 strike to count. Good to see the Catholic League teams also involved here in this Joseph J. Barrett All-Star game. The 39th edition, the 0-1 pitch to the righty batter is inside. It's 1-1 to Tidwell.
I got a feeling that the game will not be changing from Marple anytime soon.
I don't think so. I mean, it's a beautiful facility. The lights are just turning on, but still some sun here. The 1-1 is on the ground hard over to short. Siegel has it, has plenty of time, makes a strong throw a little high, but pulling it in is Anzalone, and that will do it for the bottom of the first. But Team Del Val threatened, and Team Del Val does score 2 runs, 2-0 lead. As we head to the top of the second, we'll get a look at the new Central League pitcher, I believe. After this, David Chmansky, Brendan Ricciardi. We'll be back in about 90 seconds. Welcome back to the 39th annual Joseph J. Barrett Senior Memorial All-Star Game, the Del Val League Seniors against the Central League Seniors. And we're headed to the top of the second, 2-0 lead for the home team, Team Del Val. Good job, pretty just playing small ball there in the bottom of the first for Team Del Val. We'll see, 6, 7, and 8 due up for Team Central League. Joe Krasowski, Evan Hartman, and Joe Anzalone are the scheduled hitters. We'll see if that's the case, as Brian Miller, Coach Miller of Haverford's been playing games with me so far in the first inning.
Looks like a rally infield. Jalen Tidwell at third. I see Will Cohen at second. Zach Fuscaldo at short. First base.
Bazzoni?
Yeah, I believe so.
And you said Tidwell's at third, which does look to be the case.
In the outfield, I see a Devin Prep outfielder.
Sams?
I believe that's who it would be, because the other one's just a pitcher.
Yes.
Chester center fielder.
Diaz.
Diaz.
And Pat White.
Pat White.
In right.
Is he? He's in right?
I think he is. Yeah. At least that was the way the lineup card was given to me.
Catcher, so I don't.
But he's listed as an outfielder too.
That's Jackson Messick out there.
Okay, so that's a change as well. Okay.
Yeah. That would be funny if he played out there.
He's listed as an outfielder in the program.
I don't know if he's ever.
We're finding out new things today, everybody.
You're here on the adventure with us. What we do know is this is Joe Krasowski coming to the plate.
Yes, we're confident on that. We can see the Radnor pinstripes from here.
He'll be heading to Division III national champs from last year, Ms. reported.
Sabo Graham is the new pitcher for Team Del Val, taking over for Chase Ecker, who allowed 3 base runners in the top of the first, but worked around it with a pop-up from Brady Thompson and then a ground ball double play 6-4-3 off the bat of John Tehan to get out of the top of the first. So here is Krasowski from Radnor. Radnor suffering a loss to Elizabethtown 4-2 yesterday. Krasowski swings at the first pitch, chops it on the ground to second. Cohen will fire to first and get the first out on 1 pitch. And Evan Hartman, the Radnor teammate of Krasowski's, coming up with 1 away.
Yeah, Sabo Graham might have the best hair in all of Delaware County. He will be heading to Eckerd College. He recently committed there. He was originally committed to a JUCO, then found his way to the Division II Eckerd, which
That's
is
great.
in Florida. I'm not sure what part.
And Hartman also swings at the first pitch. It's 0-1. So in the All-Star game, the guys are going up there swinging.
Yep.
All right, let's give you a stat here, Brendan. Do you want to guess who hit the first home run ever in Game 2 of the Barrett All-Star game?
Jeez, that would have been probably what, in the 80s?
Yes.
Is it a household name?
No, I don't think so.
There's been some household names that have played.
Could be. Maybe I just don't know. No balls and 2 strikes to count. We'll give everybody at home a second to think about it. And here's the 0-2 pitch to Hartman, and this is a swing and a miss. And Hartman goes down on 3. Yeah, I'll do so. So it came in Game 2, which I believe was in 1986.
That
Was
my parents' senior year of high school.
And the game was played. You want to guess where?
Oh, I think I saw it.
The one and only time.
Yep.
At Villanova University.
Yep, I knew. I didn't want to give it away because I was reading.
Sam Preston from Radnor was the MVP in that game. First pitch is low, 1-0 to Joe Anzalone with 2 outs here in the second. Yeah, the game was at Villanova. Sam Preston was the MVP. The Central League won 17-4. And the home run was hit by James Robinson of Penwood. That was the first ever home run hit at Villanova. This ball's lined well into the gap, out into right center field. And this ball's down for a base hit. Diaz is heading back to track it down, but Anzalone is pulling up with a 2-out double here in the second. Beautifully hit baseball with 2 away.
I'll tell you what, Anzalone, he's going to be a college athlete, but not in baseball. He's going to Westchester. I believe he's an O lineman. Could be D lineman. I believe O lineman for the Golden Rams. So it's cool to see these guys that, to be honest, this might be the last baseball game he ever plays.
It very well could be. That's a good point. And if he ends on a double like that hard at baseball, that's a great way to go out. And here is Nate O'Donnell, the 9-hole hitter, coming up for Team Central League. Nathan O'Donnell, listed as a catcher and a shortstop for Upper Darby. The runner at second. Opportunity here to get the Central League on the board. 2-0 lead for Del Val. First pitch is low to O'Donnell. It's 1-0 against Sabo Graham from Sun Valley's on the mound for Team Del Val.
It's cool seeing a lot of the coaches out here supporting their players. I see Austin Morgan from Pencrest.
The 1-0 is a called strike on the outside corner, 1-1.
Toby McCarr from Marple. I see Pat Dunn from Carroll. Rob Martin from Interborough. Malvern Prep's Freddie Hilliard. Good turnout from the coaches. At least those are the ones that we can just see right in front of us.
And great. The 1-1 drops in for a strike. It's 1-2. But really just great sportsmanship all around, supporting the players, supporting Delco as a whole. And that's such a great cause, of course. And really just a great night for everybody to come together. The weather really doesn't get much better than this. The 1-2 pitch from Graham is chopped on the ground weakly over to first base. Graham has it, but nobody is covering first. They did get back on a tag from Graham. Did he get it in time? He did. Graham dove and was able to tag out O'Donnell on a bang play at first base. It is kind of the one part of our view that's a little tough to see, but just in time. What a play by Graham to get off the mound, get the baseball, and tag O'Donnell for the third and final out. All right, we're headed to the bottom of the second so far. Team Del Val really playing some good defense as we're headed to the bottom of the second. Del Val will look to extend its lead, 2-0 lead for Team Del Val. After this, bottom of the second, we go. Bottom of the second, 2-0 lead for Team Del Val. David Shapansky, Brennan Ricciardi with you here. Team Del Val going to look to extend its lead here in the bottom of the second. But before we get to the rest of the lineup for Del Val, new pitcher for Team Central League, it's Ryan McWilliams from Radnor. Brendan, tell us a little bit about Ryan McWilliams, even though he doesn't need an introduction. But go ahead, Brendan.
Yeah, it's a shame that his career ended in a tough way with the loss to Elizabethtown yesterday, but he's been a rock-solid pitcher for them the last 2 years. He was first-team All-Delco for us in 2024. Not sure where he'll land this year. One of the probably first or second teams. We have to wait kind of till we get all of our stats in. But he throws a lot of different pitches. He'll throw decently hard, low to mid 80s, but he throws like a splitter. It's a lot of stuff to keep you off balance, and he's very tall and throws from kind of an awkward angle that for lefties, the ball looks like it's going to be right down the middle, but then it's going away, which usually isn't the case when you're facing righties.
And he will face Bozzoni, White, and Stams. At least are the schedule hitters. Bozzoni swings at the first pitch and fouls it. It's 0-1 to Bozzoni from Team Del Val. Bozzoni from Malvern Prep, a catcher. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Bozzoni, and this one's low. It's 1-1.
There's intern Connor Haney. Let's go. Representing Pat White, who's on deck here. Just in time.
1-1 strike to count. David Shapansky, Brendan Ricciardi with you. The 1-1 pitch to the lefty Bozzoni is chopped foul once again off the first base dugout. It's 1-2 to Bozzoni. Bozzoni, White, and Sams are the scheduled hitters. 6, 7, and 8 to up for Team Del Val. 2 runs scored in the bottom half of the first inning. Zach Foscaldo with an RBI that scored Chase Ecker, and Jake Verbitsky with a sacrifice fly to center to score the second run, and this pitch is outside. Count even, 2 balls and 2 strikes to Bozzoni.
Huge shout out to all of our interns, along with Dave, Shelby Kaufman, Connor Haney.
It was a great job taking photos.
Absolutely, Connor Haney and Pat White from the Haverford School.
The 2-2 is hit hard down the left field line. It's well fouled towards the batting cages, but good swing there by Bozzoni. A little late against McWilliams, and it's 2-2.
Devin Prep's Aaron Ward almost got smoked by that foul ball in the bullpen. He looks to be up next for Del Val.
The bullpens are going to get a lot of use today.
Yeah, not seeing much from the Central League. Maybe they'll wait.
2-2 is crushed down the right field line, and this ball is fair. And down into the corner, Bozzoni wants 2, and he is going to think 3. He's headed to third is Bozzoni. The throw to third is not in time, and Pete Bozzoni leads off the bottom of the second inning of a triple against Ryan McWilliams. And I believe that's Thompson in right field. It is best to get to it, but that ball was just well away from him in the corner. Leadoff triple for Team Del Val.
And to show the depth that Malvern Prep has, he was on the bench for them. Pete Bozzoni, because Luke Moore was their typical starter behind the plate. Pete's going to Catholic next year. But the fact that you're getting a hitter like that and not even in top 9 just shows how stacked Malvern is here.
Absolutely. Here's Pat White. Delco Baseball Now intern takes one outside and low. It's 1-0. Righty-righty matchup here.
This would be huge for the brand.
It would be huge for the brand.
Ben Thorpe's masterpiece yesterday for the Upper Darby Blue Sox.
The 1-0 pitch is outside. It's 2-0 to Pat White. Pat White, of course, from the Haverford School, a catcher and also listed as an outfielder, which Brendan doesn't believe.
I disagree.
We're going to ask him after the game.
I disagree.
2 balls and no strikes to count. Leadoff runner at third. The 2-0 swing and a miss. Big cut there from White, and it's 2-1. All right, Brendan, time for a stat. And this one, okay, well, which team do you think has won the most MVPs?
I'm going to guess Central League if they've won the most games overall.
The 2-1 is hit well but foul. It's 2-2 to Pat White.
If not, there's been some really good losing efforts, MVP performances.
Well, do you want to guess? Which team from the Central League?
Okay.
It is a Central League team.
I'm going to guess the home team. I'm going to guess Marple.
Okay, 2 balls and 2 strikes to count to Pat White. Runner third is Bozzoni. 2-0 lead for Team Del Val. 2-2 is a good pitch, but this one's hit well. In the air to left field. Doherty is back towards the mesh, and that ball is out of here. A home run. That's huge for the brand indeed. Delco Baseball Now intern Pat White grounds the bases at the 2-run shot. 4-0 lead for Team Del Val. White got all of that one.
Speaking into existence, right?
That one was crushed by White, and it wasn't a bad pitch from McWilliams. Just hung a little too much, and White sat back on it and crushed it over that mesh fence to left center field right above the scoreboard. It's a 4-0 lead for Team Del Val.
Now, here at Delco Baseball Now, we're not biased when it comes to team, but we are biased for people who work for us. So shout out Pat White, and it's good to see him put on the uniform one last time.
Here's Ryan Sams for Team Del Val. Still nobody out here in the second, and this is a called strike 0-1. To Sams. All right, I'm going to give you the answer. It is Radnor that has the most MVPs. 5 Radnor players have won the MVP award, and 3 of them have played a certain position. You want to guess the position? So I'll sit on the ground, over to short, Siegel. I'm sorry, now that does look to be Krasowski's out there this time, and Krasowski makes a throw to first. Scored the putout 6-3. McWilliams has an out in the second.
I feel like it's got to be a position player because I feel like
it is.
Don't throw as much.
It is.
I'm going to go outfield.
It's a catcher.
3 catchers. Wow.
Well, Pat White, not a starting catcher, but
He might get
in
it.
this game. Is not starting in this game, I should say. Is a starting catcher, of course, but we'll see. That will be determined. All right, that's our stat for the bottom of the second. One out. Here is Nevin Diaz. Gets a chance from Chester. Didn't cover Chester a whole lot this year, of course, in the Del Val, and this pitch is called strike 0-1. But what have you seen from Diaz?
Well, I will say real quick on Chester, I was playing in my 25 and up MSBL game. I was playing second base, and a guy on second base says, "Hey, are you the guy that runs the Delco baseball account?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "I'm the Chester head coach." I'm like, "Oh, it was,
Got a new connection.
Yep. Wayne Wells is his name. It was his first year there this year. It was just telling us that he appreciated all that we did.
0-2, a swing and a miss. Diaz goes down swinging for the second out of the second. Good pitch there by McWilliams to come back after the home run, and they were now 2 away in the bottom of the second. Back to the top of the lineup, Chase Ecker is the scheduled hitter, and it looks like he's going to step in here with 2 outs. Again, a home run by Pat White in the second. 4-0 lead for Team Del Val. All right, we'll give you one more stat this inning. There have been 491 runs scored in the Barrett All-Star games over the years. This is the 39th edition. So now there have been 495 runs scored. Think we're going to get to 500?
I do. I don't know who's going to do it, but I feel like 500 is a good goal for today.
Ecker takes the first pitch on the outside corner for a strike. The 0-1 is line foul, and that one's headed towards somebody's backyard. And it's now 0-2. Ecker a little late on that pitch from McWilliams. Ecker walked in his 4-0 lead for Team Del Val. Ryan McWilliams from Radnor on the mound here in the Barrett All-Star game. The 0-2 pitch is a little bit inside. It's 1-2 as McWilliams is looking for back-to-back strikeouts to end the second. David Chapansky, Brendan Ricciardi with you. Glad you could join us on the Delco Baseball Now YouTube channel. The 1-2 is again line foul to the first base side off a pole near us, and it's going to remain 1-2.
Might have to be us getting those foul balls because I don't know if anyone's taking the long walk up here.
Brendan, you can get a souvenir. I will stay here, and
I'll do that mid-inning.
you can get a couple souvenirs. It looks like the umpire's waiting for game balls, and I believe that Coach McCart is assisting with that. Toby, of course, from Marple Newtown. Again, just want to give a whole lot of credit to Marple Newtown as a whole for hosting this event. We saw a lot of the school district members out as well, helping set up for today's event. And then, of course, the facilities are top-notch. The pitch from McWilliams is a called strike 3 to get Ecker to end the second. Back-to-back punch-outs to end Ryan McWilliams' day. So McWilliams does give up the home run to Pat White, but gets 2 strikeouts to end the second. Nicely done from the Radnor right-hander. We're headed to the top of the third, 4-0 lead for Team Del Val. We'll be right back here on Delco Baseball Now's YouTube channel after this. Brendan's got a couple souvenirs. Come back to the booth, and we'll see you in about 90 seconds. Welcome back to our coverage of the 39th annual Barrett All-Star game here on Delco Baseball Now's YouTube channel. David Chapansky, Brendan Ricciardi with you here. Team Del Val leading Team Central League 4-0 in the top of the third. Pat White with a 2-run home run so far. I think he's the player of the game. We'll see if that continues. Top of the lineup coming up for Team Central League as they try to get on the board here in the top of the third at Marple Newtown High School. Ryan Cassidy, Bobby Doherty, and Ben Milligan are due up. And tell us about the new pitcher on the mound, right-hander coming into the game from Devon Prep.
Yeah, as you can see from that pitch right there, so he'll throw over the top sometimes, but he'll also really drop down into that kind of 3/4 submarine and throw a sweeper that does not look fun for righties because it looks like it's going to be behind them and bend its way in. I got to say, interesting uniform combo for Devon Prep. They go with the powder blue pants, the white vest on top of the powder blue jersey. I think it's an interesting look. I would prefer just go with the full powder blue, but what do you think?
It's kind of Episcopal. Is that their main? I don't think that's their main jersey. Is it
For Devon Prep?
It is.
I
don't think so.
I've seen them wear powder blue jersey, white pants.
Okay.
The times that I've seen them play.
I do. I like it though. I'll be honest. It's old school.
Yeah.
It reminds you of old school baseball for sure with the vest, of course, too. But
Nobody wears vests
baby
anymore.
blue is my favorite color.
Nobody wears vests in the MLB anymore. I don't
Throwback
think,
powder
right?
blues. No, I don't think so. Good question. Maybe the A's were the last team to wear them.
Maybe I remember Pirates and Rockies wear them a good amount.
That's a good point. Yeah,
Yeah.
probably the Rockies. But I don't know. I think of Ricky Henderson when I think of the vest and the A's. The A's uniforms are so beautiful. All right, here's Ryan Cassidy. 1 ball and no strikes the count. Cassidy singled in his first at bat. Team Central League looking to get on the board. Aaron Ward into the game, and this pitch is crushed a mile down the first base line. It's well foul once again into somebody's backyard, but it's 1-1 to Cassidy.
I can't go grab that one.
No, I don't think you can, Brendan. Sun is beginning to set here at Marple Newtown High School. 4-0 lead for the Del Val seniors. Here's the 1-1 pitch from the sidearm Ward, and this one's outside. It's 2-1 to Cassidy. And glad you could join us on our Delco Baseball Now YouTube channel. I want to thank everybody for all the support and the coverage throughout this entire season, and we'll have more throughout the summer for you. Here is the 2-1 pitch, and this one is a little bit high. It's 3-1 to Cassidy. Bobby Doherty is on deck. We'll see who the new pitcher will be for the Central League. Coming in the next inning, Ryan McWilliams getting out of the second. 3 balls and 1 strike the count to Cassidy as Team Central League tries to mount a comeback and make it 2 in a row here in the All-Star game. The 3-1 is fouled back to the cage. It's full 3-2.
I'm seeing Will Gallagher from Harriton throwing in the pen over there. And looks like somebody from Interborough. If we have an Interborough pitcher, that could be Shane West, number 18. Yep, Shane West warming up.
So had a really great year for the Bucks.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he might have pitched a little bit in the game we were at, maybe at the end.
Here is the 3-2 pitch to Cassidy, and this one is low, ball 4. And the Central League is in business once again. 2 of the 3 innings, they've had the leadoff base runner get aboard. We'll see if they can get on the board and end the shutout. And that will bring up Bobby Doherty, who also singled in his first at bat. Doherty from Ridley, a left-handed batter, steps into the batter's box.
Bobby Doherty.
David Chapansky, Brendan Ricciardi with you here. I mean, really beautiful night for baseball. Temperatures in the mid-70s. There's not really a breeze, but it's very nice. Good amount of fans on attendance here on hand. This one's outside. It's 1-0 to Doherty. And Doherty singled in his first at bat. Team Central League started the day with the first 3 runners to reach against Chase Ecker. 2 singles and a walk. And then Ecker shut down the Central League offense, able to get a pop-up and a double play to short. Cassidy takes his lead from first. And the 1-0 pitch, Cassidy goes from first. This one's fouled back. And it's a hit and run. 1 ball, 1 strike the count to Doherty. We're waiting, probably doing the 4th inning. Brendan's going to come up with a question of the game. So looking forward to that.
I got one.
All right, you got it ready? We got to do it in the 4th.
I got one cooking, not ready yet.
All right, cool. You think about it. 1 ball and 1 strike to count to Doherty. Again, runner at first is Cassidy. Here is the 1-1 pitch from Aaron Ward here in the top of the 3rd. And the 1-1's hit on the ground hard over to first. Good stop by Bazzoni. And no, this one got through down the first base line. Heading to 3rd is Cassidy. He'll stop there. I thought Bazzoni was able to get a glove on. It seems like it tipped off his glove, perhaps, and headed down the right field line. Again, that is the one area we can't see all that well, blocked by the dugout. But it's now runners on the corners as Doherty reaches and Cassidy heads to 3rd.
You got to pick your battles, where we sit.
I was confident that Bazzoni got a piece of that one.
I think that's Verbitsky, because that's the digital camo jersey over there at first.
It is, but I have Verbitsky as the catcher. I don't think Coach Miller gave me the right defensive
I guess him and Bazzoni
alignments.
are both catchers, so they just switched.
Okay, that's a good point.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll keep an eye on that. But Verbitsky is at first, is what you're saying, Brendan. Yeah. All right, Bazzoni was over there last inning.
I got Cohen still at second, Fuscaldo, and Tidwell.
And Tidwell 3rd. Okay.
Stams, Diaz, and I have no reason to think Messick's not in right. So.
Here is Ben Milligan, and this one's well outside. Gets away from the catcher all the way to the backstop. And coming in to score is Ryan Cassidy, and Team Central League is on the board here in the 3rd, and also advancing 90 feet is Doherty to 2nd. And the Central League took a couple innings, but they were on the board and threatening for more here in the 3rd. So 4-1 ball game in favor of Team Del Val, and we'll have a conference on the mound. Again, Aaron Ward is pitching for Team Del Val. Doherty at 2nd. Ben Milligan is the batter. Walked in his first at bat. 1 ball, no strikes to count to Ben Milligan.
Games like this are interesting for a lot of reasons, but the one is most of the time you have a pitcher that is throwing to a different catcher, which
it's a very good point.
It's just a lot for a lot of different reasons that's it can be very difficult, but it can also be very fun.
1 ball, no strikes to count. The pitch from Ward is on the corner, and it's 1-1. But also, too, I think some of it could be defensively behind you. You know who's positioned behind you. You know, if they hit the ball, you kind of feel confident in a way. And not that there's a whole lot of pressure in this All-Star game by any means. You know, it's mainly to have fun, but you want to do well and not give up any runs and strike out all three batters throwing 100 like any right-handed pitcher. And this ball's hit on the ground over to short. High throw from Fuscaldo, but able to hang on the bag there was Verbitsky. And there are now 2 outs, I believe, here in the third.
We can talk about the versatility of Fuscaldo. He was the starting first baseman for the Haverford School this year. They got him over at short, where he's bounced around a little bit there, but it's an interesting combo of 2 positions for sure.
And here is Brady Thompson from Garnet Valley. Thompson with an opportunity to hit with a runner in scoring position, 4-1 lead. And there goes Doherty from second. The throw down is a good one. And he is safe, though, according to the third base umpire. And that is Kevin Carr over there at third base. 1 ball and no strikes the count to Brady Thompson. The umpires, Stu Soley is behind the plate. Joseph Cassidy at second. David Splain is over there at first, and Kevin Carr is over there at third.
Dave Splain, the legend, he is the, I believe, the highest up, the chief of police at the Nether Providence Township Police, which is where my area was growing up.
Runner at third, 2 outs. The 1-0 pitch is outside. It's 2-0. Now, Brendan, what do you think about stealing third there of 2 outs? And I thought Doherty was out at third.
I'm slow, so I'm not a good person to ask about steals, but I mean, I personally wouldn't do it unless you know you're going to be safe.
Exactly. Waiting on the 2-0 pitch from Aaron Ward, top of the third. 4-1 lead for the Delval. This one, again, hit foul down the third base line, and it's 2-1 to Thompson.
There's pros and cons, because like we just saw the last run scored was on a wild pitch.
Good point.
So now you're putting yourself in a spot where a wild pitch will score you, maybe an error in the infield, like a little infield single will score you. Trust your speed, right? And in a game like this, you can do that.
Now, the backdrop again here at Marple Newtown is not huge, but the way that it's angled, it can take weird bounces and really kind of hit one way and go to the other. And this ball is fouled back, and it's now 2-2 to Thompson.
Bite.
It does. And again, very sidearm action. I don't necessarily want to say Carter Caps, maybe a Pat Neshek kind of type of release from the right-handed side. Definitely some movement there from Ward. And you have to think that's really tough, especially on righties, but also to lefties when you have that sweeper coming in at your legs. And here's the 2-2 pitch from Ward. This one's outside. It's 3-2. We've seen Ward miss a lot outside to the left-handed batters when he tries to go back to the fastball. Runner third is Doherty. There are 2 outs here in the third. Central League getting on the board here in the third. 4-1 lead for Delval, though. 2-run home run from Pat White earlier in this contest. Waiting on the 3-2 pitch to Brady Thompson, and it's on its way home, and this one's hit on the ground over to second. Cohen to his right has it, and will throw out Thompson by a couple steps. And that is the second out. I apologize. So coming in to score is Doherty. So there was only 1 out, so I guess that makes more sense. I apologize for that one. And score the putout 4-3. They're now 2 outs. 4-2 ball game, so the Central League pulling in within 2. And here's John Tehan coming up for Team Central League. Again on the mound is Aaron Ward for Team Delval. And here is the first pitch of the at-bat. It's outside. It's 1-0 to Tehan, who grounded into a double play in his first at-bat in the first.
Now, he had a great season both on the mound and at the plate. I believe he'll be going to Lebanon Valley as just a hitter, but at the D3 level, a lot of the times they'd like to give you a chance to do both.
The 1-0 is inside, almost hit Tien, and it's 2-0. All right, let's give you our stat of the inning, if you will. The biggest margin of victory came in game number 18, and it was a 14-run victory. I'm going to find that game because I'm reading the stats here, and this one's fouled back to the cage. It's 2-1. So that was game number 18. So that would be back in 2002. It was at Glen Mills. Dan Brady from Haverford was the MVP. It was a 14-0 win for the Central League. And that was the largest margin of victory in a Barrett All-Star game.
I wonder if that was before they added the Interact and the PCL.
That was domination. Here is the 2-1, and this one's outside. It's 3-1 to Tehan. 2 outs here in the third. 2 runs scored in the inning for Team Central League. Team Delval leading at 4-2. Again, Team Delval coached by Bonner's Steve DeBarberi. And the Central League coached by Haverford's Brian Miller, who was awarded with the Coach of the Year award prior to today's ball game here at Marple Newtown. Here is the 3-1 pitch from Ward, and this one's outside, ball 4, so 2 walks in the inning for Aaron Ward. Tehan will head down to first, and Joe Krasowski is coming up for Radnor with 2 outs here in the third. So Krasowski getting a chance to hit here in the third inning. Krasowski grounded out to second in this first at bat. David Shapansky, Brendan Ricciardi with you here on this Tuesday, June 3rd. Glad you could join us. Really a beautiful night for baseball. Good amount of spectators on hand. Big lead over there at first for Tehan. The pitch home from Ward is through the hole on the right side for a base hit for Krasowski. Rounding second and going to put on the brakes there is Tehan. Good throw from Messick in right field behind Tehan, but he's in there safely at second. And Krasowski has his first hit of the day. First and second with 2 outs. Team Central League really looking to cut the deficit even more here in the third. That'll bring up Evan Hartman. So 2 Raptors back-to-back in the lineup. And of course, Brendan, I think the big debate in the Central League is, right, Haverford and Radnor. And, you know, if there was a playoff bracket, we get to find out who would have won, been the solo champions, but co-champions for Haverford and Radnor. Ward comes set, and his pitch is on the ground over to first off the bat of Hartman. And Verbitsky has it. He will tag the bag. And that will end the third inning on the 3 unassisted. But the Central League does send 7 batters to the plate, and they score 2 runs against Aaron Ward. 4-2 lead for Team Del Val. As we head to the bottom of the third inning, we'll continue our conversation with Haverford and Radnor after this here on Delco Baseball Now's YouTube channel. We'll see you in just a little bit after the short break. Welcome back to the 39th edition of the Barrett All-Star game here from Marple Newtown. Second year that it's been hosted here at Marple Newtown. The Central League winning the matchup 8-5 last year between Team Central League and Team Del Val. Through the first 2.5 innings, it's a 4-2 lead for Team Del Val, but the Central League getting on the board in the third with 2 runs. David Shapansky, Brendan Ricciardi with you. We have a new pitcher on the mound for the Central League. Will Gallagher going to come into the game. Brendan, want to tell us a little bit about the right-hander from Harrington?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, you know, when you look at this year, Harrington wasn't as strong, so he's someone that probably didn't pop up in as many game recaps, but he's nasty. He's got a sharp slider. I believe he had a 15 strikeout game earlier this year, less than having him confused with Sam Bodenkamp, but I believe it was Gallagher. I can pull up his stats here in a second, but it's why a game like this is good, because there's people on teams that might have struggled a bit throughout the year that are getting their opportunity to be in the spotlight. He threw 38 innings this year. He had a 2.7 ERA. You know, Harrington, their problem really as a whole was hitting the ball. It wasn't on the mound. And he had 15 strikeouts against Upper Darby on April 10th, which is that was tied for second most in a game in Delco this year.
So Gallagher will take the mound, right-hander for Harrington, and 8, 9, and 1 scheduled here. 2, 3, and 4 scheduled here for Team Del Val. Will Cohen, Zach Fuscaldo, and Jake Verbitsky are due up. 4-2 lead for Team Del Val. All right, we'll continue our conversation, Brendan. We'll get to your question of the game coming up in a little bit. But Haverford and Radnor talked about a co-champion sharing the Central League title. Haverford's first in 3 decades. Radnor's first ever in program history. And the first pitch here from the arm of Gallagher is a little bit inside, 1-0 to Will Cohen. But I know, Brendan, you are a strong supporter of there being a playoff bracket in the Central League.
Yeah, and while I won't say anything official yet, I think there's a lot of movement from the coaches that are on agreement with us as well. I think there's more in favor than there is against. I think it's kind of more just about ironing out the logistics, maybe shortening the regular season by a couple games so you can get the playoffs in plenty of time before districts start.
Here's the 2-0, and this one is hit on the ground weakly over to third. That is Tian comes charging.
That is now I believe that is, we have a sub. That's Jeff Doherty from Marple.
All right, so I'm going to make a change here. Cohen, though, will reach. It's a base hit for Will Cohen.
I got Pat Callahan at first, Punzo at second, Siegel still at short, with Jeff Doherty at third. I'm seeing someone from Springfield in left field, which is likely Pat O'Neill.
And Brendan, who did you say was at first again? It's hard to see from.
That's for Pat Callahan. Correct. Center field still looks like Ryan Cassidy, and that's Caden Schuster from Strathaven out in the right.
And the runner from first, that's Cohen, is going to steal second easily. 1 ball, no strikes accounted for Scaldo. So Schuster is out there in right, trying to get all the defensive switches made. Obviously hard without game changer, which does hurt us. Trying to do our best. So a leadoff hit for Will Cohen. He's over there at second in scoring position. Fuscaldo's in the box. 1 ball, no strikes to count here in the bottom of the third. And once again, Cohen's going for third. The throw from O'Donnell is low on a bounce, and in there safely is Cohen. So it's 2-0 to Fuscaldo. And Cohen, just like that, his speed enters the game, and Del Val has a chance to get its 5th run of the game. Again on the mound is Will Gallagher for Harriton for Team Central League. Runner at third. Fuscaldo is ahead in the count, 2 balls and no strikes. Lefty Fuscaldo stands in, facing the righty Gallagher. 2 balls and no strikes to count. Gallagher comes set at the belt. And a 2-0 pitch is popped foul. This one is well foul towards the lights on the third base side. It's 2-1. Good swing, though, by Fuscaldo. The lights have now, don't want to say fully have turned on here at Marple Newtown, but are getting closer to it as the sun begins to set behind us. 2 balls and 1 strike to count. David Shapansky, Brendan Ricciardi with you here again. Glad you could join us. 4-2 lead for Team Del Val as they're looking to extend it. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Team Del Val, the home team. Gallagher comes set. And the 2-1 pitch is fouled back to the screen. It's now 2-2 to Fuscaldo. There have been 2 shutouts in the almost 40 years of Barrett All-Star games. Central beat Del Val 8-0 in 1998, and we talked about that game 14-0 in 2002. And I'll add on there with the stat, there have been 3 extra inning contests as well.
I'll tell you what, we got lights here, so
We
it's
do.
possible.
Here is the 2 ball and 2 strike pitch. Will get time called at the plate by Fuscaldo.
Looks like Mikey Klowanski and Michael Coleman of the PCL champion Bonner Friars have arrived from their graduation, or wherever they were tonight.
Yeah, I don't know if it was graduation for Bonner, but it was, I believe, baccalaureate, the mass before graduation. Here's the 2-2 pitch. This one's low. Gets away from O'Donnell. Charging home is Cohen, and he's going to score standing up for Team Del Val, and it's a 5-0 lead for Team Del Val. Or I'm sorry, 5-2 lead. I apologize. 5-2 lead for Del Val, and it's now 3 balls and 2 strikes to count to Fuscaldo, so full count.
Could even get the scoreboard going today here in Marple Newtown.
Didn't today. 5-2 lead for Team Del Val. 3 balls and 2 strikes to count to Fuscaldo. Jake Verbitsky is on deck for Team Del Val. 3-run advantage for Team Del Val. The 3-2 pitch from Gallagher is hit in the air out to left center field. Cassidy and Doherty comes in the shortstop. Siegel is out, and he'll make a diving catch. Wonderful play by Siegel to get the first out here in the 3rd.
That's helping your high school teammate right there. 2 Harriton guys with Gallagher on the mound and Siegel at short.
So that will bring up Jake Verbitsky from Episcopal. We'll talk about the Episcopal uniforms already today that are very interesting. We haven't seen them before. The tie-dye on the left side.
I don't think those have been worn in a game. Maybe like a spring training game, but
a scrimmage, perhaps. Yeah. Verbitsky flied out to center in his first at-bat, batting here in the bottom of the 3rd. 5-2 lead for Team Del Val. This pitch is going to catch the outside corner. It's 0-1. David Shapansky, Brendan Ricciardi with you. Again, glad you could join us here at Marple Newtown High School. Beautiful night for baseball. It truly is. Here in the 39th edition of the Joseph J. Barrett Senior Memorial All-Star Game. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and this one's hit on the ground softly over to second. I believe that is Punzo. He has it. His throw to first is in time to get Verbitsky, and there are 2 outs after Cohen pretty much stole a run himself.
Half the team's running off the field.
And Jalen Tidwell is coming up for Team Del Val.
See both the Bonner guys warming up. I don't expect to see Klowanski pitch because it started yesterday. He only threw, I think he threw like 2 or 3 innings. I still don't think he'll pitch, but Coleman we certainly expect to see with the bat in his hand at some point. PCL Offensive Player of the Year.
Klowanski, a 0.76 earned run average this year for Bonner. 7-0. Pitch here from Gallagher is a called strike. 0-1 to Tidwell. Klowanski, 46 innings. And yesterday, Brendan, is pitched 2 2/3, gave up 3 hits, 3 runs, but none of them were earned. Bonner's defense really struggled. This ball's lined down the left field line, but foul. It's 0-2 to Tidwell. And Coleman, as we talked about, just arriving here from some graduation activities, 387 on the year, 29 hits, 16 RBIs for Coleman. So Bonner, a great season, ended yesterday in the loss against Coatesville and States, but really a tremendous season. District 12 champions against Central, and of course, PCL champions. Great performances. This looks like Johnny Ortega is down there. So great support from Bonner.
Yeah, and although he's only a junior, Ryan Friel was 15 for 21 in the playoffs this year.
That's awesome, isn't it?
He had 3 hits in all 5 games.
The 0-2 pitch from Gallagher is high. It's 1-2. David Chmansky, Brendan Ricciardi with you here. 5-2 lead for Team Del Val. I want to talk a little bit about the batter at the plate again. That's Jalen Tidwell from Archbishop Carroll. Hit 237 this year, 9 hits, 3 RBIs, 4 doubles. Has some pop, though, in that bat for sure for Carroll, standing in from the right-handed batter's box. Here is the 1-2 pitch, and this one's a breaking ball, just missed. A little bit inside, count even 2-2. Pete Bizzoni is scheduled to be on deck for Team Del Val, again coached by Steve DeBarberi from Bonner. Will Cohen came around to score. He had a base hit and then stole 2 bases, scored on a wild pitch. And this ball is hit on the ground again, fouled down the third base line. Past Doherty over there at third. Remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Again, stay tuned to the 4th inning. We'll get to our question of the game here in the bottom of the 3rd. 5-2 lead for Team Del Val. And this pitch is lined into left field, and it's down for a base hit in front of Doherty. And stopping at first is Tidwell. But again, Brendan, I mean, it's just a little sample of Tidwell's bat. I mean, he has a strong offensive presence, gets a base hit there with 2 outs.
Yeah, I think his numbers don't, really show what type of hitter he is. I think he looks always very comfortable in the box, always gives a lot of good at-bats. Everyone that's played baseball has had one season where just nothing feels like it's going right in terms of the ball dropping. And then there'll be some years where everything goes right. So he'll be heading to Erskine, which is a Division II school. And I think it's one of the Carolinas. I'm not sure which one. I'm pretty sure.
50-50 shot.
Yeah. Flip a coin.
Here is Pete Bizzoni, the left-handed batter, steps into the box to face Harrington's Will Gallagher. Gallagher throws back to first. That's Callahan over there at first playing defense for Team Central League, and there safely is Tidwell. Bizzoni tripled in his first at-bat to the right field corner. Again, Caden Schuster now in the game in right field for Team Central League. 5-2 lead for Team Del Val. And the pitch from Gallagher is inside. It's 1-0 to Bizzoni.
Dave, you have to watch any of the NCAA regionals this past weekend?
I watched a little bit of the Miami game. I have a good friend who went to the University of Miami. So I guess you could say that I'm supporting the University of Miami.
Well,
How about you, Brendan?
Well, they will be
Supposed to play it first and there
Yeah,
safely.
We only have so
Tidwell.
Mike Anderson from Bonner is on Arkansas. He doesn't play much. Andrew Healy's a bullpen pitcher for Duke. They're both still in it. But Tate Davis from Louisville, who is, his dad, Ben Davis,
Sure,
Philly
yep.
color guy, hit 18 homers as a freshman at Louisville. So although he
A lot of pop.
he falls right outside of Delco, his dad is from Aston, and we can still show him some love because he set the all-time freshman home run record for Louisville.
So all those teams, do you have a favorite?
I would say that I've always found myself supporting Wake Forest because their coach once donated a kidney to a player.
That's
which
awesome.
I thought was awesome, and he seems like a good guy. But other than that, when you go to Penn State, you root for the club team.
Sure. Here's the 2-0, and this one is a called strike. It's 2-1 to Bizzoni.
I'll tell you what, though. Quick shout out to Marple Newtown's Owen Mathis, who had a walk-off single to win the 3rd straight national championship for the Penn State club team. Very, very proud of the alums. I'm glad to say I was.
The alums having a good day.
Yeah, I was glad.
Pat White with a 2-run homer earlier.
Glad to say I'm a part of a dynasty, even though I was only there for the first year of those 3.
Here is the 2-1 pitch to Gallagher, but from Gallagher, we'll have to wait for that pitch to Bizzoni, and we'll get check back to first. And there safely again is Tidwell, but Tidwell again is a threat to run over there at first base for sure. 2 outs, 1 run in, 5-2 lead for Team Del Val here at Marple Newtown High School in the Barrett All-Star game. 2 balls and 1 strike to count to Bizzoni. Gallagher comes set. The 2-1 is called strike, and it's 2-2. Pat White is on deck for Team Del Val. There was one game, we'll get another stat in here. There was one game that was called off for weather, which in almost 40 years, it's hard to believe that only one has been called off for weather. That came in 2018. Now, maybe others have been called off for weather, but have been rescheduled. This one was not rescheduled, didn't play it. Tidwell goes from first. The pitch is outside. Throw down from O'Donnell on a bounce is a good one, but in there safely is Tidwell. It's a full count to Bizzoni. And Team Del Val, I mean, doing it all right so far in the first 3 innings of this one.
Very aggressive on the bases. I mean, they scored off 2.
And like we talked about, I mean, there's not much to lose in an all-star game like this. Like you said, for all seniors on the field, for them, for some of them, it's the last time ever putting on a baseball uniform, most likely.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's certainly players in this field that won't be playing in college. So this is, this is it for them.
Gallagher comes set, looks back the runner at second. That's Tidwell. The 3-2 pitch to Bizzoni is outside, ball 4. And Bizzoni is going to walk. Third hitter of the inning to reach for Team Del Val. And it's runners on first and second for Pat White, who is looking for another big swing here and could put this game somewhat out of reach.
I'll say this: a big swing here could put his MVP candidacy out of
Might be
reach.
talking
if
to
they
Pat
win-
White
if they win
perhaps
this
at the end of
game.
the
Yeah, that'd be
game.
fun.
5-2 lead for Team Del Val, as Will Cohen, like I said, basically scored a run himself earlier in this inning. In the bottom of the third, David Spansky, Brennan Ricciardi with you here. Gallagher looks back the runner at second, kicks home from the belt, and this one is a ball, 1-0 to White. Again, White homer to left center field in this first at bat. We don't have distances, but there are some spectators that have settled in behind the mesh fence out there in left field. And I don't want to say it's easy to get one over there. It's not. But in terms of some of the fields in Delco, it is easier. You could say the 1-0's line to third, but a diving catch by Doherty, and he saved at least a run there for Team Central League. Great play over there, third by Doherty.
No, they're really messing with you. That's a new guy, Doherty.
Wow.
They're really messing with you now. Jeff Doherty from Marple. I believe that ball hit so hard he knocked it down because I saw him go over and tag third base.
Okay, so it must have, but again, Doherty is over there third. So
they're just
I do apologize. That one may have been my fault. I don't think the other ones were, but regardless, a tremendous play on the line out from Pat White. Doherty making the play over there at third base. So that will end the third inning, 5-2 lead for Team Del Val. We played 3 full innings here at Marple Newtown High School, again in the 39th annual Joseph J. Barrett Senior Memorial All-Star Game. David Spansky, Brendan Ricciardi. We'll be back here in just a few moments. We'll have a new pitcher once again for Team Del Val, 8-9-1, due up for Team Central League, 5-2 lead for Team Del Val. Top of the fourth inning here at Marple Newtown High School in the Barrett All-Star Game. Team Central League seniors versus Team Del Val seniors. And so far, Team Del Val with a great showing, 5-2 lead in this ball game after a great play over there third base by Doherty. And we are getting ready here for the top of the fourth. 8-9-1 drop for Team Central League. Joe Anzalone, Nate O'Donnell, and Ryan Cassie are the scheduled hitters. And the new pitcher in the ball game for Team Del Val is Shane West from Interboro. Pitched almost 15 innings this year, the left-hander for the Bucks. Saw Coach Martin here earlier, see him over there on the third base side of things, talking to some spectators. But Coach Martin, we had the chance, this is his first year at Interboro, and, trying to rebuild that program, definitely. And Martin is a Interboro alum, so giving back to his own school. But in addition to that, he commutes from Harrisburg to get here, which for someone that commutes to Villanova, and I don't live in Delaware County, I live in Philadelphia, but that is almost an hour drive for me one way. Harrisburg is at least 2.5 one way, depending on traffic. So Coach Martin deserves a lot of credit. But, we have talked about, a lot of different teams, and we said bright future ahead. But, if I'm talking about Coach Martin, I really do think they have the right guy in place now. It's about getting talent at Interborough, obviously, and Chichester is always tough to beat in
Yeah.
that conference. But Coach Martin, I believe, is the right guy. And give him back to his school, which is really
and
cool.
I think it's very cool when you see coaches who go back to coach at the school they played for. We have a couple. Toby McCarr played at Marple. Barberry played at Bonner. Brian Miller played at Haverford. I'm sure there's plenty more around the area as well. But I think it's very cool when guys get to go back and even, I mean, there's plenty of assistant coaches as well that did that. But it's very cool when the face of your program as a coach is an old player.
So here is 8-9-1 due up for the Central League. Joe Anzalone steps in, and he'll swing at the first pitch and line it into left field for a base hit in front of Sam's. And Anzalone has a leadoff single for Team Central League. And Team Central League has had plenty of opportunities today to score some runs. They've only scored 2 so far. We'll see if the fourth is their big inning. Here is Nate O'Donnell. Go ahead,
I was
Brendan.
going to say, I believe Wayne Wells is also a Chester alum, as the Chester coach. I'm literally just going through all these teams, trying to think of anybody else that might have played for the school that they now coach. But you're right, the Central, you've been getting guys on the bases. They got to start getting them in.
First pitch is a ball to Nate O'Donnell from Upper Darby. And, we don't talk about their uniforms a whole lot, but they're nice. The purple and the gold, really cool.
I like these.
The righty in the batter's box, O'Donnell. The catcher facing the lefty, Shane West from Interborough. 1 ball, no strikes to count. The pitch is in there for a called strike. It's 1-1.
So my parents both went to Upper Darby, and I think at least maybe when they were there, at least more recently, they kind of used to have more like Laker colored gold, but it seems like they've gone more to
different shade.
Yeah, like it's almost more like a Sun Valley type of gold.
1-1 is popped up. Brendan, you got a chance on this one. No, it's a little far down the first base line and lands on the hill to our right. 1-2. A little late there was O'Donnell. Runner at first is Anzalone. Ryan Cassidy is on deck for Team Central League. Again, 5-2 lead for Team Del Val here in the top of the 4th inning. Team Central League threatening here at Marple Newtown High School. The home of the Barrett All-Star game, at least the past 2 years. The pitch from West is called strike. It's called strike 3. I apologize. 1-2 count. Called strike 3 on the outside part of the plate, and O'Donnell goes down looking for the first out of the 4th. So runner at first is Anzalone. Back to the top of the lineup for Ryan Cassidy. So first strikeout of the game for Shane West. It's something that we haven't talked about a whole lot, is that Interborough has not played a game in a long time. So Shane West, I can't imagine, has thrown a whole lot in the past couple weeks. Now, it's a good thing he's fresh for this game, but also, it's going to take some time, especially working with a new catcher that, he most likely has never thrown to before. And lefty-lefty matchup here as Cassidy will take the first pitch inside towards his toes. It's 1-0. Cassidy has been a real anchor of the Central League offense so far today. Again, 5-2 lead for Team Del Val, but Cassidy has been involved in kind of both of the rallies started for Team Central League. A single and a walk so far, 1 for 1 today. The 1-0 pitch from West is outside. It's 2-0.
I think he's one of the most underappreciated hitters in Delco. I think when you look at the Haverford team, you got a ton of star power, especially in the junior and sophomore class, like Cam McCormick and Shane Durkin. But, he's really set the tone at the top of the order all year, and he'll be playing D2 ball with former Haverford forward Will Hoffman next year.
The 2-0 is upstairs. It's 3-0. Haverford's 2 honorees, you could say, in this All-Star game. Ryan Cassidy, Gavin McClafferty. McClafferty started this game for the Central League. 3 balls and no strikes to count. The 3-0 pitch to Cassidy is outside, ball 4. So Cassidy has been aboard all 3 times today, getting his 3rd at bat here in the 4th. Heading down to 2nd is Anzalone as the lights now really beginning to take effect. And there's runners on 1st and 2nd. Bobby Doherty is coming up now to face Shane West. All right, Brendan, the question of the game. I haven't heard this one yet, as it looks like we're going to get an Upper Darby pitcher coming into the game next. We'll talk about him, of course, when Del Val goes back out. Del Val goes back out on the mound. Brendan, go take it away.
Dave, I want to know what your favorite baseball movie is.
It's a good one. I stuck to food a lot this year when I made them. That is a good one. I have a few different answers. Little Big League was my favorite baseball movie for a long, long time. I'll get to the rest of my answer after this pitch. And this one is lined in the air to left field off the bat of Doherty. Sam's is back. He'll make the catch in the left center field alley for the first out. And heading back to 2nd is Cassidy. That's Anzalone. Heading back to 1st is Cassidy. But now 2 outs. I apologize. Ben Milligan coming up. But yeah, Little Big League is my favorite baseball movie. I guess you could say overall. But recently, a couple more. I mean, The Sandlot's a classic. I wouldn't say it's my favorite. Angel in the Outfield is a really, really good one.
I think that is my choice.
It's a sad ending. It's a good one. Well, a happy ending, but just emotional ending, I should say. And also, $1 Million Arm is really
I haven't
underrated.
seen that one.
This ball's hit in the air to right field. Messick is back, and he is going to make the catch in the alleyway once again for the third and final out. Good catch there by Messick. Is that Messick in right
That
field?
looks like I believe that's a Chichester jersey. So that
Wow,
could
they're
be,
really playing with me
that could
today.
be Julian Sparks out there. Yeah.
Okay, well, Sparks appears to be out there in right field. Again, we're trying to do our best during the All-Star game of players going in and out, but Milligan is retired for the third and final out. So essentially, again, sends 5 batters to the plate. They do not score. 5-2 lead for Team Del Val. We're headed to the bottom of the fourth. We'll continue our conversation here in between the innings. So, Brendan, you said favorite baseball movie. I mean, we gave you kind of a couple different answers, but Angel in the Outfield is really, really good.
Yeah, I would say Angels in the, like, to answer the way you did. Jack Redding looking spiffy has showed up at the ballpark. I would say my favorite movie growing up would be Angels in the Outfield. But I kind of fell in love with Moneyball. I really wish they talked more about the pitchers on that A's team in Moneyball. But I just felt like that movie was so well done. I loved Brad Pitt and Jonah Hill in it together. So I think Moneyball might be my favorite. I watched Bull Durham recently for the first time. I enjoyed that one. I like Kevin Costner a lot. But Angels in the Outfield, just growing up as a kid, that movie just really, was really what it was all about.
I feel like too, because as a kid, I think you're more attached to the movies that involve kids, involve kids getting involved in baseball. And Angel in the Outfield is one of them. Little Big League is also, one of them. So I think that definitely has something to do with it. But again, Sandlot, classic. Moneyball, classic, of course. So a lot of different options you can go. There's been a lot of good baseball movies over the years. But yeah, that was a good one, Brendan. I enjoyed it. Let us know in the comments. Again, David Twansky, Brendan Ricciardi with you here on the Delco Baseball Now YouTube channel, the 39th edition of the Joseph J. Barrett Sr. Memorial All-Star Game. New pitcher Patrick Callahan is into the game from Upper Darby. Left-hander is on the mound.
John in the comments says Angels in the Outfield.
Angel in the Outfield is
Used to
really
pray
good
for
one.
the Phillies growing up. Thanks to that. Yep, just flap your wings.
The Phillies needed that back in the rebuilding days. Just some sort of a prayer to go their way. 5-2 lead for Team Del Val. Bottom of the order, 8-9-1 due up for Team Del Val. Ryan Sams, Nevin Diaz, and Chase Ecker are the scheduled hitters. Again, around this point in the game is when we're going to see the lineups really begin to shift. We've already had defensive adjustments throughout the game that we're really trying to do our best here with. Trying to get them. Brendan, of course, being, kind of my spotter, if you will. So doing our best to get them. But so far, 5-2 lead for Team Del Val. And the big swing of the day, 2-run home run from Pat White earlier in this contest. Team Central League, again, has had their opportunities today. Have not been able to crack through a whole lot. Bottom of the fourth, we go. Again, Patrick Callahan, the new pitcher in the game, lefty. So we've seen some lefties this past inning. Shane West, last inning for Interborough. This one's upstairs. It's 1-0 to Ryan Sams.
It feels right now like the lights here in Marple sometimes take a bit to really get going. This is around this time where I feel like it looks a little dark, and then once it gets darker outside, the lights here start to get a bit brighter. But I think the pitchers have the advantage at this time right now.
And this is also the time of the night where any fly ball in the outfield, I think, is going to be a true adventure because the lights, as you said, Brendan, are still kind of in the process of turning on. There's still a little bit of daylight, but you're kind of at that dusk point of the day. This one's a called strike. It's 1-2. The count to Ryan Sams.
I'm saying still Tien, Krasowski, Milligan, and that looks like Anthony
So
Rossi.
Doherty was a third the last
Yep,
inning.
yep.
The 1-2 is a swing and a miss. Gets away from the catcher O'Donnell. O'Donnell picks it up, throws down to first to retire Sams.
Anthony Rossi first now. Looks like in center field, I believe Brady Thompson has moved over to center.
Okay, so who is it? Punzo is at second, correct?
Right now it's Ben Milligan.
Okay.
Hayden Schuster's in right. And then that is someone from Springfield. I believe. Oh, that's Pat O'Neill.
Looks like Krasowski is at shortstop.
Yep.
And Tehan is over there at third. And doing our best for you here is a called strike 0-1 to Nevin Diaz, who struck out swinging in his first at bat.
Looks like we're seeing Jackson Messick warming up for Sun Valley. He might have the next inning for Del Val.
5-2 lead for Team Del Val. Working here in the bottom of the fourth. Awkward swing there from Diaz. And it's 0-2. Diaz is the center fielder in this contest, starting center fielder for Team Del Val. No balls and 2 strikes to count with 1 out. David Chmansky, Brendan Ricciardi with you. Glad you could join us on the Delco Baseball Now YouTube channel. The 0-2 just missed on a fastball, and it's now 1-2. But Patrick Callahan is coming to the bullpen, throwing pretty well for Upper Darby.
Yeah, he was the second team All Delco outfielder for us last year, so it's cool to get to see him pitch as well.
The lefty Callahan comes set. His pitch is swung on and missed. Strikeout there of Diaz. Back-to-back punch-outs to begin the evening for Patrick Callahan. The light shining bright here in the fourth inning, and Callahan getting a couple strikeouts.
He's throwing gas right now.
He sure is.
First time I've seen him pitch in person before.
Yeah, Diaz didn't look comfortable at all in that at bat. And back to the top of the order. Now, this is not Chase Ecker. This is I believe, Chichester player into the game. Julian Sparks, I believe, is the batter. Here's a strike. It's 0-1.
Yeah, I believe it was him who made that nice catch out in right field to end the inning.
So Sparks takes a strike with 2 outs. Bats here for the first time in the bottom of the fourth. The 0-1 pitch from Gallagher is a called strike, and Gallagher is on it right now. I mean, he's pitching phenomenally, looking for 3 strikeouts in the inning here in the All-Star game. Ecker, who is now out of the game, is 0 for 1 with a strikeout and a walk, and this pitch just missed outside. It's 1-2 to Sparks.
Upper Darby's going to miss Pat Callahan next year. I mean, they've really struggled to get wins over the last 2 years, but both with the bat and on the mound, he's been a big reason that they've even been in some of these games.
And he's working really quick here. The 1-2 pitch to Sparks is called. Strike 3 on the inside part of the plate. 3 strikeouts in the inning, 2 swinging, 1 looking, and that was an excellent All-Star game performance for the senior from Upper Darby. Patrick Callahan, the lefty, looked strong, and we're headed to the top of the 5th inning. 1-2-3 inning, one of the first of the day. That was the first 1-2-3 inning of the day for any pitcher, and it comes from Patrick Callahan of Upper Darby. We're headed to the top of the 5th inning. 5-2 lead for Team Del Val. A few more innings to work with, 9 more outs to work with. In fact, for Team Central League, we'll see if they can put together a rally after this. Top of the 5th we go here in the 39th annual Joseph J. Barrett Senior Memorial All-Star Game. The Del Val League seniors versus the Central League seniors. And the Del Val trying to make it 2 wins in the last 3 years here in the All-Star Game. David Chmansky, Brendan Ricciardi with you here. The record, it appears to be 23-14 all-time in favor of the Central League. Could be a game or 2 off, but I did my best to go back through the years. David Chmansky, Brendan Ricciardi with you here again. Glad you could join us. 5-2 lead for Team Del Val. We have a lot of changes, as always. New pitcher is Jackson Messick, who is into the game from Sun Valley, a lefty once again here in the 5th, and he is going to face Bryce Siegel to lead off, and the first pitch is outside, 1-0 to Siegel.
Jackson will be staying in Delco. He'll be heading to Penn State Brandywine.
Siegel takes over for Brady Thompson, at least in the batting order, batting cleanup for Team Central League, again coached by Haverford's Brian Miller. Central League down by 3, and the 1-0 pitch is a called strike. It's 1-1. Again, at this time of night, the fly balls could be an adventure here at Marple Newtown. The lights are on, but again, still kind of that weird part of the evening where the sun is still out, still a little bit of light. The 1-1 is a swing and a miss. Big cut there for Siegel, and it's 1-2. Siegel, again, from Harriton, has played some short in this game for the Central League and now getting a chance to bat.
He will also be heading to a Penn State branch school. He'll be heading to Abington.
Not too far away. The 1-2 is outside. It's 2-2.
Like Joanne Zaloni's heading to the bullpen here for Team Central League.
Anthony Rossi from Pencrest is on deck. Good amount of Pencrest fans on hand. Might be the most of any school. The 2-2 is outside, and it's now 3-2.
I'd say outside of Marple, Pencrest is probably the closest school to where we are right now. Maybe Springfield, but I I would think Pencrest.
Full count to Siegel. Bryce Siegel trying to get on base to start a rally here in the 5th. The 3-2 is outside, ball 4. Fantastic at bat there from Bryce Siegel. And once again, Team Central League has a leadoff base runner. They've done so in 4 of the 5 innings so far today. Have scored just 2 runs. We'll see if they can put together something here in the 5th.
That's just a credit to the pitching staff at Del Val being able to limit that damage.
Yeah, so far for Del Val, we saw Chase Ecker, Sabo Graham, Aaron Ward, and I'm missing a pitcher. I do have Jackson Messick, who's now into the game. This ball is going to get away.
Shane West was that.
Shane West, that was right. Shane West also pitched. He pitched well for Interboro. Ball gets away from the first baseman,
Also Shane West.
who is also Shane West.
Right on you.
And heading down the second is Siegel. So Rossi, a chance here with a runner in scoring position to cut the deficit to 2. Rossi from Pencrest, listed as a first baseman and a left-handed pitcher. Bats here from the right-handed side, and the first pitch is high. It's 1-0 to Rossi. Rossi bats here in the order for John Tehan. Here is the 1-0 pitch, and this is swing and a miss. It's 1-1. And Jackson Messick getting into the game here for Sun Valley. David Chmansky, Brendan Ricciardi with you. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. Nobody out. Runner on second here in the top of the 5th. 5-2 lead for Team Del Val. And this one's low. It's 2-1. But again, a beautiful facility here at Marple Newtown. I had the chance to be here earlier for Marple Newtown versus Bonner earlier in the year. The 2-1 is a called strike. The throw down to third on the steal from Siegel. And the ball gets away into left field, and Siegel is going to come in and score. So Team Central League and Bryce Siegel using their legs to cut the deficit within 2. Great job by Siegel. 5-3 ball game.
A lot of action on the base pass. I know we've had at least maybe 2 wild pitches. Have a run come home. We got a throwaway there.
So Siegel essentially stealing a run once again. It's 5-3 ball game. The 2-2 pitch is upstairs, and it's now 3-2 to Anthony Rossi, and that's Jeff Doherty, I believe, is on deck for Team Central League.
Now they're
Doherty, I'm sorry.
and then Bobby Doherty. That one's messing with you.
Doherty is on deck. The 3-2 pitch is fouled back to the cage. Good swing there from Rossi. Doherty on deck for Team Central League. It's a 5-3 ball game in favor of Team Del Val. Central League getting on the board once again here in the 5th. Base is empty, nobody out after Siegel came in to score. The 3-2 pitch, swing and a miss, and there's a strikeout for Jackson Messick, his first of the evening. And Rossi is down for the first out here in the 5th, and here is Jeff Doherty, right-handed batter for Pencrest, stepping into the batter's box.
Pat Callahan from Upper Darby waits on deck. I believe he is either cousins or just good friends that you call cousins with Mike Klowanski.
It's good stats to know.
Yep.
Pitch is outside. It's 1-0. So we'll get you another stat here in the 39th Barrett All-Star game. Well, after this pitch, the 1-0 is inside. It's now 2-0. 2 balls and no strikes to count with 1 out to Jeff Doherty. The All-Star games have been played on Saturday 29 times and on Sunday 3 times. Playing this game on a Tuesday evening at Marple Newtown High School. And the pitch is on the outside corner for a strike. That one looked to be a little outside, but
I think when talking to
3-0, it's 2-1.
When talking to the new man in charge, Justin Lamborn, having it at night was big for doing it during the week because people.
2-1 is a swing and a miss, and it's 2-2 to Doherty.
These weekends are such a tough time of year. There's grad parties.
Sure,
people
absolutely.
go to the beach. There's senior week, graduation, whatever. He wanted to do it on weeknights because he thought more people would be here. And looking around, it's hard not to think he's right.
2-2 is whacked foul towards the Central League dugout, and it remains 2 balls and 2 strikes to count. With 1 out, a run in here for the Central League after Bryce Siegel basically stole a run, reached on a walk, then advanced to second on a bad throw over there to first base, and then stole third and scored on a bad throw to third. And this ball's popped up into center field, and making the catch there is Ecker, and there are now 2 outs here in the 5th. And that will bring up Upper Darby's, I believe, Patrick Callahan will step in. So a lefty-lefty matchup with 2 outs here in the 5th. Callahan, a pitcher, a first baseman, and an outfielder. Saw him pitch earlier here, the best inning of the day so far. And he swings at the first pitch and fouls it back. A little late there towards the Team Del Val dugout. It's 0-1.
He was ready to hack there.
He's batting in the batting order for Evan Hartman. But again, here in the All-Star game, that doesn't mean a whole lot. No balls and one strike to count. Base is empty, and there's a called strike. Good pitch there from Messick, and it's 0-2. 5-3 lead for Team Del Val. Again, as we said in the open, Brendan, these games are always close. Always, well, a couple blowouts. 14-0 game in the early 2000s was not, and the 0-2 is cut on and missed. So Jackson Messick ends his inning with a strikeout as he is able to get Callahan swinging. 2 strikeouts in the inning, but a run does score for the Central League. Headed to the bottom of the 5th, 5-3 lead for Team Del Val. We'll be back in about 90 seconds. Welcome back here to the All-Star game, the Barrett All-Star game here at Marple Newtown High School. David Chmansky, Brendan Ricciardi with you. 5-3 lead for Team Del Val. Del Val back up to swing the bat here in the bottom of the 5th. They're the home team today. Joe Anzalone is the new pitcher for the Central League. And 2, 3, and 4 due up for Team Del Val. And, of course, we're going to have changes as well here in the bottom of the 5th. Looks like a Chichester Eagle is in. Alex Kester, I believe. Is that Kester? First pitch here is a called strike, 0-1.
Yes, that's Kester.
So Kester takes a strike
Evan
from
Thomas,
Anzalone.
Evan Thomas from Interborough waits on deck.
No balls and one strike to count to Alex Kester. Another lefty in the game on the mound, and this one's outside. It's 1-1 from Anzalone. Kester, second base, and a third baseman as well. Chichester's continued dominance in the Del Val, which has been the case last few years. Haven't lost a game since 2019. Is that correct?
Definitely pre-COVID.
A conference game.
Yep.
Yep. The 1-1 is an awkward swing back to the mound. Anzalone's got it. His throw is not a great one to first, but it is in time to retire the Chichester Eagle and Kester. And great play there by Anzalone. And there's one away here in the 5th.
Bet Anzalone's going to miss being on the baseball field when he's running suicides in 100-degree weather in August for Westchester football.
Here is Evan Thomas from Interborough, a middle infielder. Play a little bit of second, a little bit of short. Gets a chance here facing the lefty, Anzalone. And if you're the Central League, you have to get a shutdown inning here. And the first pitch is outside. It's 1-0. One out here in the bottom of the 5th. David Chmansky, Brendan Ricciardi with you. 5-3 lead for Team Del Val. And don't have an MVP yet, but Pat White's 2-run home run was a big swing, probably the biggest in the game. But also seen some other good performances so far here in today's contest.
It's so hard for a pitcher to win this award because you only throw one inning.
Yes.
If you throw 2 innings through 2 shutout innings, maybe in relief you can get it, but it just seems like this game is just hitters are getting 2 to 3 at bats, and all it takes is one swing. Like Paul DeFrucio, I think, had a single and a homer last year.
Well, Patrick Callahan, if there is a pitcher that would get it, I think he has to get it. The only 1-2-3 inning of the day, and this next pitch is low to Interboro's Evan Thomas.
I'm seeing Chichester's Julian Sparks, another lefty warming up in the pen for Team
Lots of
Val.
lefties. This is the day to be a southpaw here in the Barrett All-Star game. I have a timeout called.
I'm glad I'm not hitting lefty bat.
The home plate umpire, that's Stu Soley. I believe waiting possibly for some more game balls, maybe delay down the left field line. I'm not sure exactly what's going on, but looks like we're ready to go now. And there is a 4-man umpire crew today as well here in the All-Star game, which is always great to have. Makes things more efficient. David Shabansky, Brendan Ricciardi with you here. The next pitch is hit on the ground over to third. Mahalik will throw low to first base, and reaching for Interboro and for Team Del Val is Thomas. And he'll put on the brakes there, so a 1-out base runner here in the bottom of the 5th.
Looks like we got Jorge Nunez from Chester coming in to hit here.
So an error there on Mahalik, who is in over there at third base. A home Tiger here at Marple Newtown High School. And here is Jorge Nunez, as Brendan said, pitching from the stretch. Here is Anzalone, and the first pitch here is low. It's 1-0. Evan Thomas over there at first. Nunez at the plate with 1 out. And we'll get a check back from Anzalone over to first. In there safely is Thomas. The 2 participants from Chester, Nevin Diaz and Jorge Nunez from Chester. 1 ball, no strikes to count. Anzalone comes set. The 1-0 pitch is outside. It's 2-0. Team Del Val leading Team Central League 5-3. Here in the bottom of the 5th inning, the lights now have fully taken over, as we have pretty much reached the point where the sun has set at about 8:30. 2 balls and no strikes to count, and we'll have a check back over here first. I believe it's 2-0, right, Brendan?
Sure.
I think so.
We need to
I lost count when I was talking about the lights.
Yeah, we need to get a new score bug that has the outs and the balls and strikes, but unfortunately we'll take what we got. Better than nothing, right?
Absolutely. Nunez in the batter's box. The righty facing the lefty Anzalone, and the pitch is swung on and missed. See if we can get a stat in here once again. This is not a good stat, so I don't know if I should read this one. But of the 18 Del Val losses, 8 of the losing pitchers were from Sun Valley. Here's a swing and a miss, and it's now 2-2.
Well, at least
Nunez.
Messick and Sabo Graham have already pitched today. So
And both of them pitched pretty well.
yeah, absolutely.
For the Del Val. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count to Nunez. Runner at first with 1 out, bottom of the 5th. Team Del Val leading by 2 here in the All-Star game. There goes the runner from first. That's Thomas. The throw down to second is not in time. A good jump there from Interboro's Evan Thomas. And it's now full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to count to Jorge Nunez. 5-3 ball game, as Team Del Val would love to add on here in the bottom of the 5th. Only 1 away. Runner in scoring position. Joe Anzalone's on the mound for the Central League. Full count. Here's the 3-2 pitch, and this one swung on and missed. And a good pitch there to get Nunez to swing on top of it, and there are now 2 outs here in the 5th. And we'll have a new batter coming up here in this ball game. Not sure who this is, Brendan, who just stepped into the batter's box, but there's 2 outs. Hard to see from this advantage point. The pitch from Anzalone is
That's Sabo Graham.
a little bit low. It is Graham. And we're going to peel down to first. I believe they said that Graham did not swing. Again, that's kind of the one area we can't see. The third and first base lines right near the bags.
Shane West on deck for Interboro. I know Graham is going to Eckerd. I believe is just a pitcher, but I know he can swing it a little bit too.
Here's the 1-0 pitch from Anzalone, and this one's a called strike. It's 1-1. Again, runner at second is Thomas for Interboro. 5-3 lead for Team Del Val. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. Anzalone looking for a scoreless frame here in the 5th. Comes set at the belt, and lefty delivers the 1-1. This one's low, and it's going to get away from the catcher. Heading down the third is Thomas, and it's now 2 balls and 1 strike to count as that one got away from O'Donnell.
You know, obviously a lot of the guys on this team don't play in the Del Val, you know, Interact, PCL, Sun Valley. But I think that this was a big year for the Del Val with Chichester beating Strathaven because it just puts a little bit more validity in the league itself. There's our guy, Coach Wells from Chester. We took the field against each other on Sunday. I'm still sore. We're too old for these double headers. Yeah, I can do one game. But just as a whole, it's just big. It's big for the league.
2-1
to
is
have a game
shot
like that.
foul.
I'll have to grab that one during the.
Yeah, I think
break.
that's a souvenir for Brendan. It's now 2-2. Little late there was Graham. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count. Runner at third is Thomas. As Anzalone tries to get out of it. The 2-2 pitch is outside. It's 3-2. And again, we've talked about all broadcasts, but really it is more difficult for a lot of these pitchers to throw to a catcher that they haven't thrown to before. You know, don't know the routine, don't know where they like to throw the ball. And also for some of these pitchers, they haven't thrown in a little while as well, or at least in a game. Here is the full count pitch, and this one is perhaps a little bit outside. Ball 4 to Graham. And Graham will head down to first base. So runners on the corners here in the bottom of the 5th. 2 out. Shane West with an opportunity for Interborough.
Well, I think another thing worth noting when it comes to the pitchers is that a lot of these guys are starters. You know, like they're going all season. They have their normal routine. They're getting the ball to begin the game. And a lot of these guys for the first time are now coming in out of the bullpen, and it's just a little different.
First pitch to Shane West is outside. It's 1-0. That's a good point, too. And every pitcher's pitching 1 inning today, and that, you know, can take guys out of their routine, of course. 1 ball, no strikes, the count. Thomas is over there at third. Graham is at first. Shane West is at the plate. Joe Anzalone's on the mound for Team Central League. Lefty-lefty matchup here. Big opportunity for West to try to score his Interborough teammate. The 1-0 is hit on the ground back to the mound. Anzalone's got it. Takes a hop, and he'll underhand toss it to first base to get out of the 5th inning. So nicely done by Anzalone. Allowed a couple base runners. Had that wild pitch there as well, but inevitably gets out of the 5th inning. We played 5 full innings here in the Barrett All-Star game. Almost 4 decades of Barrett All-Star games. We are headed to the 6th, 5-3 lead for Team Del Val. We'll be right back in about 90 seconds, Delaware County. You don't want to miss it right here on Delco Baseball Now's YouTube channel. Top of the 6th, we played 5 full innings here in the Barrett All-Star game. Some more changes this inning, but not a whole lot. We do have a new pitcher into the game for the Del Val, and it is Chichester's Julian Sparks, another lefty. That's what we've said the last few innings. And we also have a new batter, I believe, into the game for Haverford, it appears. This is Jack Mahalik, sorry, for Marple Newtown. Wrong color of orange. Takes the first pitch outside. It's 1-0. The lefty facing the righty Mahalik, and this one's outside. It's 2-0. Playing for Marple Newtown, of course, the home team of today's event. Marple Newtown 6-10 in conference play in the Central League this year. The 2-0 is outside. It's 3-0 to Mahalik, the third baseman for the Tigers. Saw Coach McCart here earlier today. I believe he is helping out with the microphone here. The 3-0 and the music as well is outside, ball 4. So 4 straight balls out of the bullpen for Chichester's Julian Sparks.
I think
And Mahalik is heading down to first.
I think my phone might have died, but it's plugged into the portable charger. So I'm gonna go down and check that. But we'll leave you with the audio from
Sure, we'll keep the audio going, as I'm going to do my best to manage without Brendan with the substitutions. And looks like This is Caden Schuster, who is going to get a chance to bat here. So again, over there at first base is Mahalik. Facing Sparks here in the 6th. There goes Mahalik. Pitches outside. The throw down is a good one. The tag on the back of the jersey is not in time. So it's a 1-ball, no strike count to Caden Schuster. And Mahalik still second. 5-3 lead for Team Del Val. But Team Central League is still within a chance. Central League won the game last year 8-5. Trying to make it back-to-back games. Central League overall has the advantage in this contest since 1985. The 1-0 pitch from Sparks is a called strike, drops in on the outside corner, and it's now 1-1 to Caden Schuster, listed as an outfielder, a first baseman, and a pitcher for Strathaven. Chichester pitcher on the mound, and Sparks, Strathaven batter, and Schuster. The 1-1 is outside. It's 2-1. Those two teams matched up earlier this season in the playoffs, with Chichester getting the win against Strathaven. Runner at second is Mahalik. Nobody out here in the 6th. The 2-1 swing and a miss from Schuster, and it's 2-2. David Spansky with you here, trying to fix our video. So give us a few moments, everybody. Brendan is heading down the long trail. We're up here on the hill behind the field. With the houses behind us. It is a long walk to get to the plate. Here's the 2-2. Mahalik goes for third. This ball's lined into right field for a base hit. Mahalik will easily score for Team Central League. And Central League is within 1 on the RBI single from Strathaven's Caden Schuster here in the 6th, and it's now a 5-4 ball game. Good piece of hitting from Schuster to take it the other way. I know Strathaven alum Brendan Ricciardi would love that base hit. And it's now a 5-4 ball game. Runner at first is Schuster, and the first pitch from Sparks here is outside. It's 1-0. This is Lucas Punzo for Pencrest, right-handed batter, facing the lefty Sparks. Here is the 1-0 pitch before we get a throw to first, and this one is going to get away from the first baseman, and heading down to second is Schuster. So the runner in scoring position is the tying run for Team Central League, and it's a 5-4 lead for Team Del Val. 1 ball and no strikes to count to Punzo. 5-4 ball game. Schuster advances to second. Punzo with an opportunity here to drive in the tying run. Here's a strike. It's 1-1. So far, the player of the game has most likely been Pat White, who had the 2-run home run earlier in this game for Team Del Val, but the Central League threatening to tie this game in the 6th. The 1-1 is a little bit low. It's 2-1. Again, Caden Schuster with an RBI single. He's at second. Nobody out here in the top of the 6th inning. Team Central League down by 1. The 2-1 pitch to Punzo is lined down the right field line. It's quickly falling and will head towards the spectators and the snack bar down the right field line. It's now count even. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Pencrest Lucas Punzo.
Make sure it's showing that screen does not even touch it.
Punzo, the 2-2 is hit in the air to right field. It's falling quickly, and this one is down for a base hit. Schuster will put on the brakes at third. He'll advance 90 feet. Runners at the corners, and the line keeps moving for Team Central League. A base hit for Lucas Punzo, as the right fielder Messick could only play it on a hop. So here is Pat O'Neill of Springfield. Lefty-lefty matchup with Chichester Sparks on the mound. 5-4 lead for Del Val. It's hanging by a thread. Ground ball hit to second. There's one. Back to first is not in time, and it's an RBI. And this game is tied. Pat O'Neill reaches on a fielder's choice. Coming in to score is Caden Schuster, and it's a 5-5 ball game here in the top of the 6th inning. Well, it wouldn't be a Barrett All-Star game if it wasn't a close battle between the Central League and the Del Val. And we're tied at 5. 1 out. So O'Neill is over there at first. Good play by Kester to just get 1. Here's a swing and a miss. 0-1. No balls and 1 strike count. Trying to find out who the batter is. We'll get that to you in a second. Here in the top of the 6th. Spark comes set. The 0-1 is outside. It's 1-1. Looks like it could be Patrick Callahan for Upper Darby. Actually, it looks like it might be Sean McMenamin Regardless, it's a 1-1 count. The 1-1 is low. It's 2-1. It is Sean McMenamin, who's a catcher and a pitcher for Springfield. With one out, runner at first, 2 balls and 1 strike to count. O'Neill is over there at first. 5-5 ball game here. Marple Newtown High School in the 39th annual Barrett All-Star game. The 2-1 is low. It's 3-1 to Sean McMenamin, again from Springfield. The 2 participants from Springfield, Pat O'Neill is over there at first. Sean McMenamin batting back-to-back here in the order for Team Central League, again coached by Brian Miller of Haverford. 3 balls and 1 strike to count. Sparks comes set, and before the throw home, we'll throw back to first. Shane West applies the tag a little late to the diving Pat O'Neill. Had the game-tying RBI on the fielder's choice. 3 balls and 1 strike to count. David Shapansky with you here in the top of the 6th. Sparks gets the signs, kicked home. The 3-1 is going to bloop out into center field, but the second baseman will come in on the edge of the grass and make the play. That is Kester. So there are 2 outs here in the 6th. Pat O'Neill will have to head back to first. From our vantage point, I thought that ball was going to get down in center field, but a nice play there from Kester, kind of a weird advantage point. 2 away here in the 6th. Tie game, 5-5, and that will bring in a new batter here. Throw back down to first is a little bit low. Pat O'Neill slides in safely. Again, the game-tying RBI on the fielder's choice. 1 ball, no strikes to count. Looks like we have a player from Harriton at the box. And the 1-0 is a little bit low. It's 2-0. Again, that is Pat O'Neill over there at first. 2 outs here in the 6th. 2 balls and no strikes to count. Brendan, can you confirm who that is in the box? Looks like a Harriton player.
That's Bryce Siegel.
It is Bryce Siegel. Here's the 2-0 pitch from Sparks. This one's a called strike on the inside corner of the knees.
Apologies for the broadcast delay. What happened was my phone was hit by a foul ball, which knocked the portable charger out of the and knocked the charger out of the phone. Because I'm like, that portable charger can last for days. And I'm like, how did the phone die? And I go down there and it's not plugged in. So it got hit by a foul ball and got knocked out.
The 2-1 is low. It's 3-1. With 2 outs, Sparks comes set, trying to get out of the 6th. 3-1 is chopped foul towards the Del Val dugout. It's full. 3-2. Sparks trying to, at worst, send his team back to the dugout in a tie. Team Central League mounting a comeback, and as Brendan and I have talked about all broadcast, they've had a big opportunity to extend and get some runs. This one is outside, ball 4 on the 3-2 pitch, and Siegel will head down to first. He's been aboard a couple times today. So first and second, O'Neill heads down to second, and this has been a long inning for Sparks out there on the mound, the lefty, and we'll see if Coach DeBarberi or someone comes out and has a mound visit. Doesn't appear to be. And here is Anthony Rossi for Pencrest coming up with 2 outs. He could be the hero here in the 6th. Runner at second is O'Neill. Siegel's over there at first. Rossi gets a chance with 2 outs. Facing the lefty, Sparks. Pitch here is fouled back to the cage, luckily away from Brendan's phone. 0-1.
I think next time I might just have to hop this fence and jump down instead of walking a mile.
Here is the 0-1. This one's popped up a mile high. This one's going to be hard to see. Off the mound is Sparks. West, the first baseman, is over, and he'll make the catch. And he will hang on to retire Rossi for the 3rd and final outs. But Team Central League ties the game at 5. A big RBI fielder's choice from Springfield's Pat O'Neill. And we're headed to the bottom of the 6th inning. And with that last run, Brendan, we have now eclipsed over 500 runs in Barrett All-Star game history. 501 to be exact. 10 runs scored so far today through the first 5.5 innings. We're headed to the bottom of the 6th inning, and now a fully dark Marple Newtown High School, except for the lights on the baseball field, would have taken over, thankfully. We've headed to the bottom of the 6th inning. 5-5 ball game here on Delco Baseball Now's YouTube channel. Tie ball game, 5-5. Pat O'Neill with the game-tying fielder's choice in the 6th against Julian Sparks of Chichester. We are headed to the bottom of the 6th. Tie game between Team Del Val, Team Central League, but Team Del Val does have 6 outs to work with before we get to extra innings. 3 extra inning games in the history of the Barrett All-Star game. Could it be a 4th? We'll find out. And the new pitcher is Jack Mahalik from Marple Newtown, getting a chance to pitch on his home mound. Great season for Jack, 2.59 earned run average. Coach McCart in attendance, as many of the coaches have been to watch their players play today. Mahalik going to be on the mound. He will once again pitch to O'Donnell, who has done, I think, the catching for the entire game so far for the Central League.
I can't think of anyone else I've seen out there
For the Central
for
League.
the Central League at all.
All right, let's see who we have batting here.
Should be Ryan Sams, unless no, 13 is Aaron Ward.
All right, Aaron Ward, who pitched earlier in the game.
They just had him listed
for Devin
so I
Prep.
wasn't sure.
And waiting on the first pitch from Mahalik in the 6th, and it's outside. It's 1-0. Yeah, Ward pitched earlier in this game, was the 3rd pitcher used for Coach D. Barberry. 5-5 ball game. Central League trying to get a shutdown inning after tying the ball game. The 1-0 is called strike. It's 1-1. David Shabansky, Brendan Ricciardi with you here again. Glad you could join us on Delco Baseball Now's YouTube channel. Beautiful evening for baseball. Truly is, regardless where you're watching this one. If you're here with us watching it after the game, maybe sitting on your back porch watching the Phils destroy the Blue Jays. At least that was the last update that we got. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Again, I want to thank everybody for tuning into all of our coverage this year. Stay tuned for more coverage in the summer. Here's the 1-1 pitch from Mahalik, and this one bounces. It's 2-1.
We got a 7-1 Phillies in the 6th.
Nice. Christopher Sanchez must be dealing there in Canada. The Rogers Center, 2 balls and 1 strike to count. Mahalik, the righty, comes set, holds the glove near his face, and the 2-1 from the stretch is a little bit low. It's 3-1 to Ward, and the last thing Mahalik wants to do is walk the first runner. And both of these teams have had their chances to score more runs today, and that's why it's a little surprising that only 10 runs have been scored combined between these two teams, because a lot of runners have reached base. 3 balls and 1 strike to count to Ward. The 3-1 is low, perhaps a little bit inside. Ball 4 to Aaron Ward. So Ward will head down to first base for Devin Prep.
It was very likely that our MVP is still up in the air at this point. You know, Pat White had that homer, but unless he gets the hit to put the team ahead, we're not really sure we're going to get from our MVP. We don't even know what team it'll be.
Well, Michael Coleman could be the MVP, and what a way it would be to cap off a historic season for him and for Bonner. PCL champs, District 12 champs, facing Mahalik here is Coleman, and he'll take the first pitch for a strike. It's 0-1. Coleman, a fantastic season for Coach D. Barberry's Bonner squad. 387 average, 29 hits, 16 RBIs. Him and Ryan Friel doing damage at the top of the lineup. And they scored 7 runs yesterday, Brendan, and lost. But this is a team that prior to that had scored 10 runs in 3 consecutive games, at least 10 runs. It's 2-1 to Coleman.
Looks like Caden Schuster heading to the bullpen. He'll probably have the 7th inning for the Central League squad, if there is a 7th inning.
And Schuster had a big hit to help tie this game, put together that 2-run rally there in the 6th. Bottom of the 6th we are now. 2 balls and 1 strike to count to Michael Coleman, the lefty facing the righty Mahalik. The 2-1 is hit on the ground over to first. It's a fair ball, and tagging the bag for 1 is Hartman. His throw down to second is not in time, and the Central League dugout wanted that nice double play to be turned, but Hartman does get 1. And Coleman is retired for the first out, and advancing to second is Ward.
I believe it's ruled a foul ball.
Okay, so it is going to be ruled a foul ball. That is the one area we can't see a whole lot. I thought it was fair, at least from where we're cut off at the dugout.
I saw the ump point with his right arm, and then everybody's talking about the play going on. I'm like,
Well, that was a nice play from Hartman because he dove and stopped that ball, but apparently on the foul ball side of the line. So it's now 2 balls and 2 strikes to count. New life for Michael Coleman, again facing Mahalik. Ward is over there at first. Nobody out in the bottom of the 6th. 5-5 ball game here on Delco Baseball Now's YouTube channel. The 2-2 is hit on the ground hard. Up the middle, the shortstop. Krasowski's over. He bobbled it, but he will get 1 out at second, tagging the bag to get Ward. And there's 1 away here in the 6th.
Looks like Jackson Messick up for Sun Valley here.
So Messick will get a chance. He pitched also earlier in this game. 5-5 ball game here in the bottom of the 6th. Runner at first now is Coleman, who will reach on the fielder's choice. Krasowski would have loved to have turned that double play at a rush because Coleman has some speed, of course, for Bonner. Mahalik comes set. There goes Coleman from first, and it's a hit and run, popped up. in the infield. Hartman, the first baseman, starts to his left, comes to his right. He should be able to get the double play. He will, as he flips underhanded. Probably could have just tugged Coleman, but instead will flip to the pitcher, Mahalik. So a double play. Evan Hartman flashing the glove a little bit there in the 6th inning. We've played 6 full innings here in the Barrett All-Star game, the 2025 Del Val Seniors against the 2025 Central Senior All-Stars. We'll take a break here on Delco Baseball Now's YouTube channel. We come back. It's the 7th inning. Are we headed to extras, or will we have a hero here in the 7th? We'll find out after this. To the top of the 7th we go. 3 all-time extra inning ball games. So we are 6 combined outs away from possibly getting to the 4th. Here in the 39th annual Barrett All-Star game here at Marple Newtown High School. 2nd time that it has been hosted here at Marple. David Chvansky, Brennan Ricciardi with you here. And the new pitcher, Michael Kowalski, who pitched yesterday for Bonner in the state playoff game against Coatesville. Went 2 2/3. Brendan, how many pitches did you say through yesterday? Around 50, right?
49.
49. And we'll see who's going to step into the box here for Team Central League. First pitch from Kowalski is outside. It's 1-0. Looks like it's not Siegel again. Who is in the box, Brendan?
I think this is Jeff Doherty.
Okay, it is Jeff Doherty from Marple Newtown. That makes sense. 7-5. Here's the 1-0 pitch. It's fouled back. It's 1-1. It's been a long day. I was thinking top of the 7th. That's why I put 7-7. 1 ball and 1 strike to count to Jeff Doherty, and we'll get a mound visit here quickly as Pat White, Delco Baseball Now intern, is going to talk with Kowalski. Kowalski, who was, just absolutely phenomenal in Bonner's PCL championship game against Ryan in Camden, New Jersey, at Rutgers Camden. Here is the 1-1 pitch to Doherty, and it is fouled back towards the backyard. Look out, first base side, and it's now 1-2.
Yeah, and Kowalski really came out of nowhere, and truly, he wasn't expected to be a major part of the team because the rotation was supposed to be Corey Sheridan, then Johnny Ortega, and Jack Redding. But with Corey Sheridan being injured most of the year, he really stepped up in a big way.
1-2 pitch is swung on and missed, and Doherty is down for the first out of the 7th. Kowalski used that breaking ball there. But yeah, a lot of injuries really forced Kowalski and Buckton to step up. And just imagine if Sheridan was healthy the entire year. Really, and also, if they were just healthy overall in the field, and Bonner's, of course, defense kind of was the biggest weakness and hurt them yesterday. But a great pitching rotation. 1 out, and this pitch is whacked foul. I believe this is Patrick Callahan at the plate.
Yep, and
lefty facing the righty, Kowalski, 0-1.
Bonner's going to have a ton of pitching to replace, but I'll tell you what, these guys are going to match for the next couple of years. Friel back, Hernandez back, Dorito, Romano, Lockhart.
Dorito's going to be a really good player.
Absolutely.
He has big-time power and still a younger player. Here is the 0-1. This is a swing and a miss. It's 0-2 to Callahan.
As mentioned, I'm not sure if these guys are blood related, but they were very close. So I think there's a big reason he wanted to get in this game. That's to face Pat Callahan.
Little bragging rights perhaps on the line. The 0-2 pitch from Kowalski is hit on the ground over to short on a line. Nice play on a hop from Thomas. His throw to first will get Callahan.
Oh, I think he.
Or no, we called him
I think
safe.
he might have came off the base.
And that's a base hit. Probably an error, more like it,
I
but
think
for
he-
bragging right purposes,
I think he
maybe a
might have
base
just
hit.
popped off the base a little early.
So Callahan will reach over there at first base. Most likely an error. I believe over there at first is Nunez for Chester. And we'll have a Marple Newtown player going to step into the batter's box. I believe
Jack Mahalik.
this is Mahalik. Yep. With one out. And the first pitch to Mahalik is fouled back towards Brendan's phone. Hopefully it's okay. Looks like it is. No balls and one strike to count. David Chmansky, Brendan Ricciardi with you here. One out. Michael Kowalski on the mound. 5-5 ball game between Team Central League and Team Del Val. Just about to hit 9 o'clock here at Marple Newtown High School. No balls and one strike to count. And the pitch is outside. It's 1-1 to Mahalik. Callahan over there at first, being held on by Nunez. 1 ball and 1 strike. The count to Mahalik. Kowalski comes set from the stretch. His 1-1 is swung on and missed. Kind of a check swing there from Mahalik, but he went around 1 ball and 2 strikes. And Kowalski yesterday pitched 2 2/3, allowed 3 hits, 3 runs. None of them were earned. 2 walks and 3 strikeouts against Coatesville. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. Kowalski gives a look back to Callahan at first, who has a lead. Now comes home, and this one's hit on the ground over to third. Backing up, now coming in is Graham. Long throw across the diamond is not in time as it gets away from the first baseman, Nunez. And heading to third is Callahan, and he'll stop there. Runners on the corners, and Team Central League is threatening to take their first lead of this All-Star contest.
Poor Kowalski just can't escape rough defense in the last couple days. Doesn't matter if he changes teams.
So Mahalik will reach at first. Callahan is over there at third. There's 1 away. And here's a big opportunity for Caden Schuster, who delivered a big base hit in the 6th. Can he do it in the 7th? He swings at the first pitch, fouls it back towards the first base dugout. That's where the Central League All-Stars are.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. If Caden Schuster puts them ahead and gets the save, I think he might have your
I think he
MVP.
does. Yeah. No balls and 1 strike to count. Schuster with a big opportunity here. Of course, a member of the Panthers, Brendan's alma mater. Can Schuster come through? Runners on the corners. Callahan over there at third. We'll see if the runner goes. Pitches high, and indeed going to second is Mahalik. So a base hit could score 2. 1 ball and 1 strike to count to Caden Schuster.
Schuster will be joining his brother Jack at West Virginia, likely making that club team, playing with his brother again. Pretty cool.
1 ball and 1 strike to count. Kowalski goes from the windup. The 1-1 is called a strike. That one looked a little high. Fastball from Kowalski brings the heater. It's 1-2. David Chmansky, Brendan Ricciardi with you here on this Tuesday evening of the 39th edition of the Barrett All-Star game. The 1-2 is hit on the ground over to second. Coming home is Callahan, and it's booted by the second baseman, Kester. 1 run is in. Here comes Mahalik. The throw home is up the line, and Schuster will head down to second, put the ball in play. Caden Schuster, he does, and it's a 7-5 lead for Team Central League. The Central League All-Stars have stormed all the way back to take the lead in the 7th. And some more bad defense behind Kowalski has allowed the Central League to come up not just by 1, but by 2.
That will probably go down as an error, but that ball was smoked, and I think that 1 probably would have scored anyway. He was playing like kind of halfway in, but either way, hit the ball hard and see what happens.
Yeah, make contact and force the defense to make a play. And I think, in addition to the ball being hit really hard, I think Kester was in between of whether or not to come home. And I think that mental decision hurt him to be able to kind of pick up the ball, if you will, kind of made the decision before he had the ball in his glove. No balls and 1 strike to count. I believe this is Punzo at the plate. The 0-1 pitch from Kowalski is a little below. It's 1-1 to Punzo. Runner at second is Schuster, and that would be another big insurance run for Team Central League here in the top of the 7th. 1 ball, 1 strike to count with 1 out. Kowalski looks at the plate, comes home, and this pitch is fouled back towards the first base side. It's 1-2. And Brendan, something too that you want to talk about. Now, Kowalski has almost 50 innings logged this year and just pitched yesterday. A lot of these other pitchers haven't pitched in some time. You have to think that at this point of the year, Kowalski is feeling it in terms of stamina wise.
Yeah, like I'm to be honest, I'm a little surprised he's out there to begin with. 50 pitches yesterday, but I also don't have much experience with pitchers, so it's kind of hard for me to.
The 1-2 is outside, and Schuster is going to steal third, sliding in safely. And the third run to go up by is just 90 feet away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count. Well, I mean, his head coach is in the dugout, Coach DeBarberi. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count. Polanski comes set. Runner at third is Schuster. The pitch is lined into center field by Punzo for a base hit. And the Penn Press middle infielder comes through. Schuster will score, and it's an 8-5 advantage for Team Central League. And the Central League pouring it on, and they won this game 8-5 last year. Can they win it 8-5 here in 2025?
I forgot that was the exact score last year. We were
Little deja vu.
100% right. Deja vu all over again, right?
Still one out. Punzo is over there at first, and this one is high. Kowalski's throwing some heat here.
Yeah, I just on a personal level, I think that they should consider putting someone else in. Nothing that he's done wrong. His defense hasn't helped him, but there's a lot of pitches for a young arm back-to-back days.
1 ball and no strikes to count. Kowalski comes set. The 1-0 is low. It's 2-0. Let's see who's at the plate here, Brendan.
This looks like
Is it Pat O'Neill? I think it's Pat O'Neill for Springfield.
correct.
2 balls and no strikes to count. Runner at first is Punzo. And the 2-0 pitch to O'Neill is called strike on the outside corner. 2-1. Generous call there for Kowalski. Maybe Pat White might have stolen a strike there. O'Neill had the game-tying fielder's choice in the 6th. 8-5 lead now for the Central League. The 2-1 is swung on and missed. Big cut there. It's 2-2. O'Neill, a first baseman, a pitcher, and an outfielder. David Schmansky, Brendan Ricciardi with you. Again, glad you could join us on this Tuesday afternoon. We just reached 400 subscribers on the YouTube channel. 8-5 lead for the Central League. The 2-2 pitch to O'Neill is inside. That one cut a lot from Kowalski, and it's now full 3-2. Kowalski just looking to get past this one out, get the second out of the inning. Punzo's over there at first. He singled, had an RBI. Punzo goes from first. The 3-2 is low. Ball 4. Punzo will be in there standing up as O'Neill is going to walk. And again, this gets into dangerous territory where I don't think Kowalski's too happy. I mean, the defense has not helped them behind him at all, but we'll see if Coach DeBarberi decides to make a change. Nobody's warming up. This might be his inning. So runners on first and second, and this is Sean McMenamin, and this one is low and outside perhaps. It's 1-0. McMenamin, a catcher and a pitcher, righty-righty matchup here. 1 ball, no strikes to count. Punzo is at second. The 1-0 pitch from Kowalski is hit in the air out to right field. I believe that's Messick out there. He comes in with a charge. He'll make the catch for 2 outs, and Punzo can only head back to second base. So runners on first and second. Good out there from Kowalski. And here is Bryce Siegel for Harriton with 2 away here in the top of the 7th. The Central League has scored 3 runs in the inning. Some bad defense behind Kowalski and also a couple hard-hit baseballs. Punzo with a line drive single to center. He's at second.
I guess if you're Kowalski, you're probably thinking you're probably not going to be throwing much. You have some time off. Probably going to have graduation, senior week for a little. So you might as well just leave it out there.
Pitch to Siegel is swung on and missed. It's 0-1. Siegel's had a good day. He's been involved in the offense a couple times for Harriton. Of course, Harriton having a down year this year, but they play at a beautiful facility not far from Villanova. No balls and 1 strike to count. Kowalski comes set, looks back. Punzo at second, delivers with 2 outs. This one's outside. Great block from Pat White behind the plate. It's 1-1. Again, runner at second is Punzo. O'Neill is over there at first with 2 outs. 8-5 lead for Team Central League here in the 39th edition of the Joseph J. Barrett Senior Memorial All-Star Game. Here is the 1-1 pitch. This one is inside, and it hits Siegel. So he's aboard once again. He's walked, now hit by a pitch, and the bases are full of Central League players. And here is Anthony Rossi, who has a chance to put this ball game away with 2 outs in the 7th. Rossi has come up, Brendan, in a few big opportunities today, and he hasn't been able to come through yet. This is his chance here for Pencrest. First pitch from Kowalski is called strike. It's 0-1. That one, again, might have been framed well by Pat White, or maybe the umpire has said it's reached 9 o'clock. Let's begin to go home.
We all got work tomorrow.
Here is the 0-1 pitch, and this one is popped up once again a mile high towards the light. It is well foul. All Nunez can do is give it a look. It will hit the walking path. And once again, there's a souvenir for Brendan Ricciardi if he's going to hustle down there. Somebody in the comments said you need a ladder, but
I think you need a ladder to get down there.
Oh, yeah, that's
That-
right. But
yeah.
somebody else said something about getting a ball faster, but maybe just steps would help. Here is the 0-2. It's to get down, I should say. This one's outside. It's 1-2. Close pitch there. Kowalski wanted it. Top of the seventh, 8-5 lead for Team Central League. Kowalski trying to get his team a chance to come back in the seventh. Here is the 1-2 pitch. Bases loaded. This one's inside. Almost hit Rossi. It's 2-2. Bases check-wise. Punzo's at third. O'Neill's at second. And over there, first is Siegel. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count. Kowalski from the windup comes set. 2-1 is lined into center field for a base hit. 1 run is in. Here comes O'Neill. The throw from center field is a good one. And now we have a runner caught in between the baseline as O'Neill couldn't score. Siegel's caught in a rundown. And coming home to score is O'Neill. Another error behind Michael Kowalski. And it's a bases clearing double. Oh, I'm sorry, not clearing. There is a runner at third, but wow. So I believe 2 runs coming to score, runners at the corners, and it's now a 10-5 lead for Team Central League. So yeah, stopping at third is Siegel, but Siegel was caught, and the defense behind him, nobody was covering home, so O'Neill came in to score 2 runs. He put on the brakes first. This one's chopped on the ground over to short, and making the play is Thomas in the air. So that will end the inning, but 5 runs come in to score for Team Central League in that half of the seventh. Some bad defense behind Kowalski didn't help him out. Couple hard hit baseballs as well. No, I had a couple more at the end of that seventh. We have played 6.5. We're headed to the bottom of the seventh. Caden Schuster going to try to close this game out. A 10-5 lead for Team Central League. Final 3 outs for Del Val coming up after this. You don't want to miss it, Delaware County. We'll see you in just about 60 seconds as Brendan goes to get that last foul ball. Bottom of the seventh, Caden Schuster is in relief. First pitch strike here to Sparks. It's 0-1. Sparks, of course, from Chichester. 10-5 lead for Team Central League. They scored 5 runs in the seventh. Kowalski suffered some bad defense behind him, and it's low. It's 1-1 to Sparks. Again, Schuster was part of both of those rallies for the Central League. Remember, it was a 5-3 game in the sixth in favor of Team Del Val. And Schuster played a big role in both of those rallies. Now trying to close out the game. This one's low. It's 2-1.
Well, this would be some nice redemption for Schuster here because he got hit around a little bit against Chichester in that playoff game. So I think for him, he would like to get some of that back in his favor. But if he has a clean 7th inning here, I think there's a good case that he's the MVP of this game.
2 balls and 1 strike to count. And we want to give a lot of credit to Nathan O'Donnell behind the plate today for Upper Darby. He has caught all 7 innings. Well, 6+ at this point. But O'Donnell, I mean, has been a rock behind the plate. And he's done a good job, too. I mean, a couple pass balls here and there, but, I mean, he's the only player who's played, I think, all 7, the 2-1 consecutively. There's a strike. It's 2-2. And the Del Val dugout not happy with that call. Again, Sparks at the plate for Chichester, bottom of the 7th, 10-5 lead for the Central League. They won the All-Star game last year, 8-5. Schuster comes set, now steps off. Again, this is the 39th annual Barrett All-Star game. Here's the 2-2. This one's hit on the ground hard, up the middle, diving. There was a shortstop, Siegel. He got a piece of it, but it's going to be a leadoff single. And that's the way the bottom of the 7th will start. Leadoff single there for Sparks, and Team Del Val is not done yet, Brendan.
No, I mean, the leadoff runner getting on base is big. We got another Chichester guy back-to-back here.
That'll bring up his fellow Chichester counterpart, Alex Kester. Schuster, the righty, comes set, trying to close out the game. This pitch is inside. It's 1-0. So Team Del Val try to come back, and they led this game for the first 6 innings. They didn't trail. It was either tied or Del Val had a lead. And the Central League took their first lead of the contest in the top of the 7th. 10-5 game. Schuster checks back to first. Callahan a little late there on the tag. In there safely as Sparks. 1 ball and no strikes the count to Kester. Again, a second baseman and third baseman for Chichester. Schuster comes set from the stretch. And his 1-0 pitch is low. It's 2-0.
Looks like we have Interboro's. Who's on deck here for Interboro? Blanking on the name.
Probably Evan Thomas.
Yes, Thomas, and then Nunez in the hole.
2 balls and no strikes to count. Schuster comes set, looks back to runner at first, delivers this one just inside. Could have caught the corner. It's 3-0. And now you can hear maybe a little bit from that Del Val dugout. They're waking up over there. 10-5 lead for Team Central League. 3 balls and no strikes to count. Runner at first is Sparks. Kester at the plate. The 3-0 right down Broadway for a called strike. It's 3-1. But if you're Team Del Val at this point, just want to give yourself a chance here, right? And Kowalski really wasn't bad in the 7th. Gave up a couple hard-hit baseballs, indeed, but the defense behind him didn't help him out. The 3-1 is hit on the ground. Good play by Schuster. Throw to second is in time. Back to first. Sails over the head of the first baseman, Callahan. They do get 1 out. That's a great play from Schuster, who was able to set his feet and make a good throw. That's a tough play for pitchers sometimes when instead of throwing a home plate, you have to turn around and go to second.
Yeah, it helps that Schuster has a lot of experience in the infield as well. I don't even think with the perfect throw, Bryce Siegel gets him at first. It would have been close.
Would have been a bang-bang play. We do have 4 umpires in this game as well. And with 1 out, that will bring up Interboro's Evan Thomas. So fielder's choice there for Kester to reach. Pitch from Schuster is a little bit high. It's 1-0 to Thomas. Thomas, a middle infielder for the Bucks. Saw Coach Martin here earlier on today. Might still be here somewhere on the Team Del Val side. So I'm talking to some fans here earlier. Still a good crowd on hand here, Brendan. 10-5 lead for the Central League. The 1-0, swing and a miss. Big cut there from Thomas. It's 1-1, count even. With 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th, 10-5 lead for Team Central League here on Delco Baseball Now's YouTube channel. David Chmansky, Brendan Ricciardi with you here at Marple Newtown High School, the Barrett All-Star game. Schuster comes set. The 1-1 pitch from the Strathaven righty is fouled back a little late there by Thomas, but a good cut. It's 1-2.
I think if I had a vote for MVP, if potentially wins this, I think Caden Schuster would be the guy. But you look, Bobby Doherty had a couple knocks as well. Bryce Siegel's been on base a lot.
It's hard to keep score after the 4th.
Yeah, Joey only had a couple hits, so we'll see. I think Schuster being a part of both rallies and potentially closing it out should matter. 1
ball and 2 strikes to count. Schuster looks back. Kester at first, kicks home the 1-2, fouled back. Just getting a piece of it there was Thomas, and it remains 1-2. Also got a piece of the catcher O'Donnell and maybe a piece of the home plate umpire behind the plate. That is Stu Soley. Again, the 39th annual Joseph J. Barrett All-Star game. Joseph J. Barrett, a lifelong player, coach, and umpire in Delco in Philadelphia before he passed in 1985. This game is a tribute to him. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. Schuster comes set. 10-5 lead for the Central League. The 1-2, and he went around. 2 away. A strikeout there from Schuster, and that will set down Thomas. And the last chance for Team Del Val is going to be with Jorge Nunez for Chester. 10-5 lead for the Central League. Del Val down by 5. Schuster comes set. The pitch to Nunez. Big hack and a miss. It's 0-1. I want to give a big thank you, of course, to really the foundation and everybody who put this event together. Really tremendous event, tremendous facility here at Marple Newtown. Here's the 0-1 pitch. This one's low. It gets away from O'Donnell. Heading down to second is Kester, and it's now 1-1. So Kester advances 90 feet, but again, his run relatively means nothing in the 7th.
Justin Lamborn and Eric Van Wyck, both Garnet Valley alums, and Van Wyck is the current football coach for Garnet Valley, deserves a ton of credit for what they've been, able to turn this event to.
And Delco Baseball Now got a page in the back of the program
how about that?
today.
Free slice of pie.
The 1-1 is outside. It's 2-1. Great program, too, by the way. I believe $5. I apologize, Brendan. I wrote in your program.
That's okay. They gave it to me for free.
But tremendous program. You can read about the history and really great evening. The 2-1 is swung on and missed by Nunez. It's 2-2. And Team Del Val is down to their final strike here on this Tuesday afternoon in the Barrett All-Star game, the 39th edition. The Central League looking for back-to-back wins, the 24th overall. The 2-2 just low. It's 3-2 to Nunez. The runner at second, again, is Kester. 3 balls and 2 strikes to count. 10-5 lead for the Central League. And Schuster tries to slam the door, and indeed he does. A swing and a miss, a strikeout for Nunez to end the game. And Caden Schuster gets the save, was involved in both of the late inning rallies for the Team Central League. And final score, the Central League defeats Del Val by a final score of 10-5 here in the 2025 Joseph J. Barrett Senior Memorial All-Star Game. And the Central League, according to my record, improves to 24-14. They have won back-to-back games, second season at Marple. And really, I think it's easily coming back for a third. I mean, what an evening here tonight, really for both teams, and really a great chance to showcase the future and the best of Delco.
Yeah, no, it's an unbelievable event. I'm very, happy that we got more involved in it. Very cool that we're able to stream it for the first time. Thank you to Dave for the contributions all high school season. Of course, we'll be covering Little League, Delco League, maybe some Legion games this summer. But adding the broadcast element this year has been very cool, and I hope that these guys had as much fun playing as we did getting to stream it.
Yeah, we did. Just want to take a moment. Want to thank everybody as always. I know I put out a post earlier today, but want to thank all the players, the coaches, the parents, the fans. I mean, really just a tremendous season. Want to thank everybody for tuning in. And like Brendan said, I mean, plenty of coverage left to go.
I believe our player of the game is Joe Anzalone from Garnet Valley.
Anzalone is going to be awarded the player of the game. So maybe we have to talk to Anzalone and Schuster here for us. But really, I mean, Anzalone was great, and so was Schuster here in this one for Team Central League. And really just, once again, a beautiful evening for baseball and such a great day here at Marple Newtown High School. But Anzalone, I mean, was really, really good. Looks like he's got a bat, which is pretty cool for him to take off.
Also pitched as well in this game, too.
Yes, and we saw that from a few guys, right, on both sides, of course. And really a great evening. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Again, final score, Team Central League 10, Team Del Val 5. Have a great rest of your night. Delaware County, want to thank everybody for tuning in all season long. We'll have more covered on social media after this. Again, Joe Anzalone, the player of the game. For Brendan Ricciardi, I'm David Shapansky. Have a great rest of your day, and good night, Delaware.